I've gone to a rave. And about 35 years ago, I prank called the police.
I
Collecting
think
that data.
statute of limitations has passed on that crime, so I think you're fine.
Alrighty. So,
I'll have to do it again.
who would like to do the
Premeditated.
recap for an inspiration? All right then.
I know
give
people are
myself an
waiting for that.
inspiration.
Everybody's waiting for that particular time period to pass. Politeness.
We talked about it last week, right?
Okay, ready? Rock, paper, scissors. Cuth and Cha. Ready?
What? I
Rock,
did it last
paper,
week, and I
scissors.
still got my inspiration.
Oh, never mind.
Scissors.
Okay, I'll try it. I didn't take very good notes. Okay, and I'm gonna do my best. Were you able to catch any of the episodes, Niavara, that you missed?
I have not, on account of the fact that listening to stuff has been difficult.
Oh right. Okay, so I'll
You
just
should recap
throw
2
in some
episodes.
tidbits.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's just spend 45 minutes recapping like we did that one time.
It's okay. We can say Niavara has been AWOL.
I like the idea that we figured that you went shopping somewhere. You just sort of took off into town, and we figured we're just like coming up with things that you've done. And so it makes sense that you were out there like studying people and doing your montage and to get your, inspiration.
I kind of think she's been watching us the whole time, and we didn't. She's just practicing.
Okay, so what? Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so what we had gotten into town. We found our way. You disappeared. The rest of us kind of immediately got into this big pyramid scheme, like scam that that Fletch and Raoul were doing, and then everybody joined in to help them with this scam, basically, which was not necessarily a scam, but it had scammy vibes about it, to get people to go back to the town of Dale and assist monetarily and with supplies and whatnot to help build the astral ship that Fletch is trying to get back for themselves and their crew. Then they took off, and so the rest of us, so Fletch and Raoul took off to do that back to the city of Dale. So Kozik and Zed and Cha continued through the streets and kind of were checking everything out. We ended up. Oh yeah, we'd met this, and I think you were there for that. We'd met this person who smelled really bad and had a person with them who could sing and make sounds out of their mouth but couldn't actually speak. Remember that? So that was Tina and Elrune. So Elrune and Tina were with us. Sort of, we kind of had asked them to come along as a guide, but they weren't really helpful. But they did take us to a really crappy sort of dive bar. Ah, I love that picture. Tina, you're the best. So in this bar, Elrune just had a tab that was running. Kozik happily paid it, which allowed us entry to the whole thing. We then saw Mr. Black that we had met back in the town with the mimic, like on our first day, and his 2 cronies that Niavara had turned into. They were there at this pub in the Feywild, and we were going to try to approach them, but they took off, and then there was a whole wild bustle of activity, and these weird candy cane elves came into the building looking for someone, which happened to be someone named Rain. who was a sprite with little wings and a giant mustache as a disguise. And they had with them a massive, like, machine biomechanoid gorilla named Sherman. And they took off running, and we chased. And we wanted to kind of see what their deal was. We wanted to help them out if we could, because it seemed like they were being pursued by these really aggressive Santa Claus pixies or something. We ended up stopping, talking to them, making friends, and they joined our team. And then we continued to find our way. This is sort of bleeding into both episodes. We found our way to a more lavish, a lavish pub named the Lofty Highborn. And here, Zed, out of the box, like, was flirting with the what was that? What was that creature? Was she a sprite or a the owner? She was a fairy. The fairy that owned this building called the Lofty Highborn. Zed was hitting on her hard, and she was hitting on him hard, and it was getting pretty, like, like HBO R-rated there for a while. And he ended up actually, spending the night with this person, but not before getting us a major discount at this establishment to get ourselves some rooms. And we were kind of in this building. In your absence, Niavara, Cha has been really testing out his hat of disguise. So he had transformed himself into like a female human and was changing his voice and messing around with that. Then he changed into a dwarf to pretend to be like a relative of Kozik. And Kozik sort of was our lead man into this lavish, the Lofty Highborn pub. So we were trying to really present like he was a major lord. And so, yeah, Cha turned into a dwarf and sort of went in with him and pretended to be his dwarvish cousin. And there were like dances, and we were listening to stuff. And let's see what else. We'd heard something about an adventurer's hut where we should check things out if we wanted some work. And then Cha and the gorilla, who is like a cyborg, they talked for quite a while about like his background and what he's about. That he was transformed in a tower within a forest somewhere, and like he was saved by a good man. And then this whole process that changed him into like a mechanoid creature also awakened his mind and made him conscious. And then he started actually manipulating himself to make his limbs and everything better and stronger. And that's kind of what I recall. I know I'm probably missing some stuff, but that's the sum up for everything.
Did you talk
That's
about the floating in the chocolate milk?
And then
The
Zed's late
chocolate
night
milk!
escapade.
Yes, I did talk about the escapade with the fairy. I did not talk about the chocolate milk. So Zed ordered us some chocolate milk, and it was the first time Cha had ever had chocolate milk, and he was like in absolute ecstasy. Like, I mean, it was reminiscent of the moment we entered the material plane. Like, he had read about chocolate, he had heard about chocolate milk, then he actually had it in the Feywild, and it was just this beautiful, Zen-like, transformative, blissful moment. Which Zed told us later he thought that Cubed was totally going to pull a Constitution saving throw and totally screw Cha's stomach up with like this rotten milk or something. But it didn't happen. It all went down smoothly. And yeah, it seems like Zed is very interested in this and maybe creating a relationship with this fairy that he met. And the fairy, by the way, is full tilt like Valley Girl. Total Valley Girl. And then there's this nice festival that's about to happen, the Day of Myrthe, or the Miriam Festival, that we are now going out into the town to check out all together after a new day.
Do you remember what they're celebrating?
Oh, let's see. What are they celebrating? Oh, yeah, they're celebrating independence from the Fey courts of the area, that basically this town has decided to be independent from the surrounding political structures. and so they're celebrating that day of independence from the other courts. If I'm understanding that right.
Yippers.
Oh, and we've learned quite a bit more about Rain, and they've kind of let some things slip about being connected to the Sealy court.
Did they?
I kind of. Well,
Being facetious. Sorry.
I'm not actually sure. I wrote some things down. There's like this. There's Tandy Peppermint, which is like the ruler
Mhm.
of something, and Rain is somehow connected to them.
Maybe.
There's like a candy court.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like the candy cane court, who have these these soldiers run around with candy canes. We're not sure what they can do. If they're licked, intensely, they can make a pretty deadly sharpened weapon at one end, I'm
I
sure.
was pretty sure they were actual weapons. Like it was just like swords and stuff made of candy cane, right? Just a little miniature.
Deadly and delicious. And then I wrote something down about Clean Flexington, but I didn't put any note. I'm not sure who they are.
That is the bird that helped me because remember I slept on the pillow and I used the mint as a pillow and it got stuck to my hair and I needed somebody who had prestidigitation and so I fluttered out like the end and there was like this talking blue jay, right?
That's it. And they were adorable, and they helped clean Rain's head, even though I think they had known already that one of us actually had prestidigitation, but they
Did I
went
know
out
that?
anyway.
I
I
don't
thought
think
that
I
we had
did.
done it. Maybe somebody
You
had
did it when
tried
I was
it.
still on Max Voldemort there.
Okay,
Think.
that's it. Problema.
Or no, maybe you did it in the alleyway, right?
We did it with Elrune to try to like improve the
Oh,
scent, and
yeah,
it didn't
I wasn't
work.
around
But I
Elrond.
don't think you were there yet. Yeah, so it makes sense. You went and looked around for something to clean up your head that had a sticky mint in it, and you met this bird figure named Clean Flexington that helped out very much. Boom. Sweet. Oh, Kozik and Agatha, Deep Shaft, that was the dwarf that Chaw became. They had a very nice dance, by the way, a waltz in this lofty, highborn pub hotel that we were at,
Felt
which
it
I
was
think made
almost
Kozik a little awkward.
it was almost beyond cousinly propriety in that way. But it's okay.
Well,
People
that's just
did
how the
assume that
deep
we were a
shafts.
couple.
I'm a
That is
noble.
just
I've
how
been
the
there
deep
before.
shafts are.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's how it is in their family. Yep.
I just watched that today
That's
with
that's
my
funny. Wow,
caregiving client.
synchronicity.
Bueller.
Is it good?
Post it. Oh, cool.
Let me look.
Oh, there we go.
Which
All
one's
right.
more fun?
I think the second one's a little more fun. The first one's a little more like weird. It's from a particular game, and that's the carnival music that they play. That game
Nice.
has amazing music. What was
Queenix
it?
games typically do have very interesting, like they have carnivals at them frequently. Like Final Fantasy VII and like the Honeybee Inn, of course, has great music, but also, fuck, what's the name of it? It's like on the tip of my tongue. The Golden Saucer also has very memorable carnival music,
I don't know why
but
my audio's
again,
not
kind of
separated like that.
weird.
Weird. All right.
Enix being the people that made both Nier Automata and Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I was blown away by the music in Nier Automata. It was just so different. I was like, man, that's damn. There was points where I was just like almost getting distracted by the music and not doing the boss fights. Anyway, speaking of boss fights, let's see. Does everybody have a token on the map somewhere so you can see this? And make sure the stream has a good view because I have a module in my Foundry that I can control where the camera goes, and it takes away a bunch of the like GM stuff, so people get more of a, all they can see is like what I want the camera to be directed, like the rolls on the side. I thought that was neat. Less UI. Camera. Oop. There we go. Let's see who's not on the board. I see Sherman. I see Cha. There's Rain. Tiny, tiny, tiny little Rain. So we need a Kozik.
He's not that tiny.
Ivar is missing. I'm fairly certain.
Ivara is the big bad. He was T.O. Moonblade all along. Oh!
Uncle Moonblade?
NPC that we met before you joined Kuth.
Chaw's evil uncle?
Hot snake lady.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I
More
thought you said
Oh, you
Tio.
never. Yeah, TIO.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's uncle, but also it's a
Get Kozik
what's
on
its name of
here.
species. The Naga species that
Yanti?
aren't called
Oh, like
Naga.
a
Yanti, yeah,
Marlith?
they're Yuanti.
Oh.
But if I recall, you guys were heading to the fair, and you guys, came to this area that. And let me see. Hold on. Did you guys
Ready
actually
for
get there?
full tilt chrono trigger.
And we were
No, I
with
think
the
you guys
We
were.
land.
did, yeah.
Yeah, I think you were heading there. You were heading there because let's see. I recall. Let's see what I have here. You guys are chit chatting in a lofty highborn. Zed presented you guys with like a sort of breakfast with milkshakes, and that's when Rain had the encounter with Mr. Flexington. Let's see. Kozik woke up and there was a very familiar beady-eyed bear. And Cha freaked the fuck out about that.
came
Let's see what
back.
else was
I
there.
came
blocked
back.
that out. I blocked that out of my mind.
What a pleasant little companion.
The teddy bear is back. And he
I still
immediately
haven't
took
ever
onto his
done like
armor again.
I have not done an arcana check or like anything, but we still keep getting these hints that maybe it's sinister. I don't know.
There's no way such an adorable little beady-eyed teddy bear could possibly be a sinister
Kind of
thing.
where I'm coming from. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the key to opening the underworld and the abyss.
I barely remember where I got it. It's just always been there with me. It's kind of crazy, but
He's just your little buddy, right?
yeah, I mean, to get the two of us against the world, right? I don't know.
I
So-
loved how you stopped talking to the crowd back in Dale and just started staring at your teddy bear when you were up in front of everyone. You just trailed off in front of everybody.
Yep.
All right. So, just to backtrack a little bit. So, Niavara,
Mm-hmm.
what was it you would have done for your deception montage? So the viewers, know.
So, more or less, what happened was that Niavara wasn't necessarily particularly a fan of the two musicians. She got sort of bored by the spiels that was going on. And so what she did is that she more or less was like, okay, I need to go sort something out. I'll be right back. But she doesn't want to necessarily communicate this to her party mates. She knows where they're going. She knows that she's going to meet up with him eventually, but she just wants to take a second, collect herself, reassert herself, and vanishes from behind them. And so while they've been on their married journey, Niavara has come to the conclusion that she's not nearly good enough at lying, particularly because of one Max Voldemort outdoing her so thoroughly and so repetitively. And the Gaslight Gatekeep Girl Boss Championship, Niavara lost. And so she double checks herself. She makes sure is my countenance appropriately convincing? Are my voices appropriately attuned? Is my ability to fuck around and not find out adequately based in reality? And so that has meant that while her party mates have been going to places back and forth, she has decided to utilize the information that she learned about the townspeople to just cause like small problems, small deceptions here and there, and seeing how far she can push it before someone pushes back. I had a rumor, for example, that Mr. Black was getting into something behind bar the other day. And I'm very sorry if I'm a little bit disjointed working on it.
Keep going, keep ripping.
Wherein she was pretending more or less to be one of the mooks she had seen with him, and sort of was just shooting the shit at the bar itself about his supposed boss that Niavara had seen with him. Pretending to be people left, right, and center, but also inventing whole cloth new personalities when needed to. And again, her goal isn't necessarily to cause harm, but rather to see how far she can influence something. Such to the point that, like, the rumor is just a thing that exists in the town now. On its own. It has its own legs.
To which we will see what that entails in the long run. Alright, so I already rewarded you your bonus. So you should be at, yep, alright. So, the next question for Niavara is, when and where does she plan to meet up with the party?
I'm going to assume that she heard them at some point while she was in the middle of her, let's say, shenanigans. She checked in as like a background character walking past and overheard that they were going to this festival. And was like, oh, that's actually a great place to meet up because there are so many corners that I can hide and swap identities quickly and easily.
And also, the party hasn't exactly been the quietest about their presence. You know, you heard about a bar fight in a tavern that is pretty well known for constant scuffles, so it's not unheard of, but there was a bar fight not too long after you got in there. There was somebody's cabbages got knocked over in some kind of thrilling chase. You probably would have been close enough to have observed or heard of that. And I mean, it's pretty easy to track down the party. I mean, once you know who you're looking for, it's pretty easy to look for them. But they did spend the evening in the Lofty Highborn, which is the tavern and inn of Eloquence. But yeah, you probably would have found some place to rest for the evening, be it taking somebody else's face and pretending. You know, we'll say that could even be part of your deception montage. You found a place to stay for the night, pretending to be somebody else.
Some lover was on the outs with a partner, and she was able to say to his friend, like, "Oh my god, can I just borrow your couch for the night? My girlfriend totally kicked me out."
Yeah.
Something like that.
So essentially, you managed to find some place to stay, rest up, you know, recover any spells or hit points or hit dice that you may have spent in the previous days, and pretty much just like everybody else, you would have been quickly, maybe even to some degree abruptly awoken to the sounds of like drums and like flutes playing and just kind of this jaunty music, but it's very loud and it's outside and it kind of sounds like a marching band or a parade going on. Almost like a wake-up call, but, you know, much louder. Because that's how everybody else got woken up. So, you would have heard about the fair, the celebration of this town's independence from the courts. So you would also know that this, actually it's more of a city, not really a town. This city is very welcoming to all walks of life. You probably would have seen a couple of like halflings riding dinosaurs. You know, these anthropomorphic hyena people. You've seen them before. Gnolls. I mean, just all sorts of like fairies and sprites, maybe, and just everything. Like anything you can think of, a ladron. So you would definitely get a feeling that they're just in their presentation. There's not really a sense of, oh, the Sealy court is the best, or oh, the unsealy court's the best. It's like, no, everybody's a mixing bag, and you know, you just get that general feel, just walking around, that there's no bias here. And in representation of that, the fair is a part of that. The celebration of that mixing bag. Yeah. But with that being said, you pretty easily find the party. I'd say they're just arriving at the fair, and you guys just sort of arrive at the same time for the most part, except for maybe Zed, because Zed, you know, was up a little early, he knows the fairgrounds a little bit more than others because of a particular individual that helps set things up, to which is also your tour guide.
Yay.
To which, let me grab her token. But yeah. So basically, as you guys arrive, as I'll now describe the scene, because I said I would describe it when you get here. So, you come to this fairground. People of all walks of life are here, very akin to the rest of the town, but it's a lot more jovial. There's a lot more joy. You can see people smiling. You can see kids laughing and playing. There's balloons and like what do they call, like streamers, like hung with all these colorful flags, and maybe even some lights here and there, but it is daytime, so it's kind of hard to see them, but there's just enough illumination that you can definitely get that feel. There's a scent of just like these sweet tarts and baked goods in the air. There's every so often you'll get a waft of like spiced meats, and you look around and you'd see people carrying these like almost hold on, notes. You just kind of see people like carrying around like these sweets and these goods. There's a couple. You point to that guy over there, and he's like stuffing his face with like a pie. There's this, a couple kids over there like unraveling, undressing some cupcakes with like little cherries on top and like chocolate and sprinkle. Like this place is just all sorts of glee and joy and not a care in the world, as one might put it. And yeah, you guys arrive here. There's this jaunty music playing, and yeah, feel free to RP amongst yourselves. I need to get water.
Cha definitely pulled out his shakuhachi flute and was playing along with music and doing like cartwheels and somersaults and joining in the merriment immediately.
Hozik kind of looks to his left and right and says kind of to whoever's nearest him, he says, among the 7 dwarven villages, they would tell tales of people who found their way to the land of the Fae. And here we are. And when they were in that land of the Fae, it was said that they ate things like candy floss, and they would have tubes of chicken, beef, and pork in a cloud-like bread called a hottumdog. And I think I'd like to go try to find that.
Nice.
Even though it's still early, I realize.
This little banner string, right there. I want to be like doing it like a tightrope, right? Arms out to the side.
Nice.
Just listening.
So inconspicuous.
And like every time I
Not
like
painted
stumble and
though?
like I'm gonna fall, I have wings and can fly anyway, so I just gently reposition myself back on the rope.
Careful
And
up there.
where'd you say you're from? That's got the stories of the hottumdogs?
I come from a land of 7 dwarven villages under the mountains, although it's a long way from here.
I don't think I never met nobody who lived under a mountain. Under some rocks. I got some sprite friends that live under rocks. It's real nice, but a whole mountain. It must be wild.
Sometimes I get the feeling that the deeper underground that you live, the more character you have. I don't know. It's just a feeling I get.
Well,
Harum,
let's go
harum.
see if we can find you one of these hottumdogs.
Boy, I must have a
Yum.
lot of character then. I think I'm beneath all of existence down in the hells.
Oh, you're
Well,
from hell?
That's right. Born and raised. Does a cartwheel.
Now, I thought hell was a kind of a bad place that you don't want to go to, and there's layers to it.
Josh shoots a very fast look at Rain with his eyes like wide and his mouth sort of pinned shut, and he just kind of nods. Don't ever go there, Rain. Don't ever go there.
I
For
believe you.
reals.
No inclination. I like it here.
Good. And Cha goes back, his face relaxes, and he goes back to running around.
Well, Rain, but you must be from around here, right?
I mean, ish.
Ish.
I'm from the domain, just a different area.
I see.
I didn't do a lot of moving around until recently.
Glad to make your acquaintance. I feel so merry today.
Oh,
Let's
is
go
it
get
because of the party, or is it because of all the sweets you've been dining on?
It could be a matter of diet. My dwarven constitution is a little has been upset recently, but I think I can handle some more snarf snarf.
I don't know what a snarf is, but you're my first dwarf. I ain't never met a dwarf before.
I'll do my best to leave a good impression
You look real stout, and I remember enjoying your dance back at the inn, and you got like a fancy way of talking, which actually reminds me a little bit of the fairies back home.
Well, yes, I come from quality.
I don't know if you picked up on it, but I kind of got like a Sprite accent a little bit. My mama hates it, but that's just who I like playing with, you know.
It's very charming. It's very charming.
They're all prim and proper, pixies, right? But the sprites, they're the ones who have the most fun. They like to get dirty and they like to fight and they chase off like when goblins come in trying to stomp all over our houses and stuff. They'll throw spears at them and stick in their elbows and
swim around in chocolate milk and all sorts of nonsense.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, rambunctious. That's what they are.
That was the cutest, by the way. Your swimming pool of chocolate milk. Oh my goodness.
Well, my best friend hooked me up, and I'm gonna snap and point at McGilla Gorilla. Who I didn't even check to see if he's in the voice.
I am.
So you're a
Cool.
little bit rock and roll, and he's a little bit country, maybe.
There we go. What do y'all want to do first? There's like 50 million things here.
I want that candy
Eat
floss.
food. All of it.
I'm just gonna follow them, and I want to do it like in a little bit of annoying fashion where it's just constantly like buzzing.
You're a small one, yeah. Yes.
I just got lots of energy. I had a whole bowl of syrup this morning.
We like energy around here.
Yeah, is there a candy floss vendor that we can go to here?
I ain't never been here. We got to investigate.
Should I roll for investigation?
You got a good way of talking. Find somebody and just ask them.
And Zed has a way of talking too, doesn't he, buddy? And Cha gives a wink and does like your special high five you've been working on since they met.
I can say I had a pleasant evening.
You're
Tiffany's
positively
actually-
glowing, Zed.
she's very wonderful.
Cha sort of
that's
covers his mouth and snickers and points his finger
terrible
at Zed.
frame.
Narrows his eyes.
You say, don't you have some cartwheels to do?
I sure do.
Sorry, I'm trying to get a token to work. Being rude. But anywho, does it not let me paste the target?
Cha rolled an inside check to imagine that Niavara is probably in the crowd, so he's kind of looking around with a devilish eye, just wondering, looking at the patrons and even the shop owners, just sort of closely wondering if he could spot Niavara if she's here. He feels like she is, but he's chasing butterflies also.
I mean, is Niavara trying to hide right now, or is she presenting herself to the party?
Sorry. No, she's not trying to hide. She's more or less, she's spotted Shaw. Because, how do you miss that?
Okay. Got the token working. All right. Ooh.
Plus she's like scoping out what's going on. Like she can recognize Cha, she can recognize Kozik and Zed. She notices though the new party members that she's not had the chance to meet. And she's more or less like, what the hell happened while I was gone? I was gone for 5 minutes. Not really, but
So Niavara basically appears behind you, and has some
Oh.
questions.
my token's all the way over here. If you can't see it. If is that what you were wondering about?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much everybody's starting at the down here because you're just getting here, so you really haven't had a chance to check everything out. Everybody's back at the, you know, the beginnings of the fairgrounds.
Shaw doesn't know like an innocent party etiquette, so he's
Get
just
your
like
butt back
seeing
there.
old plates just laying around with some food left on them, and he's like, "This is wonderful!" And he's just picking food off of like people's leftover plates.
Nobody seems to care. Everybody is too busy enjoying the things going on. But as you pretty much arrive here, you see a very familiar looking fairy. If my mouse stops double clicking, that would be fantastic.
Turn off turbo mode.
Did you say turbo mode?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
Mhm.
that
got
sure
that.
brought
He's
me
got
back.
the turbo button on. Just kind of flip that.
Oh man, I definitely did that on PC Chrono Trigger when I played it as a grown up.
I don't like that frame. I'm gonna fix
Joystick.
that. That don't work. You know, I'll just go with the scuff. That's fine. This is fine.
Shaw says to Sherman, he just gets serious for a moment. He's like, "Sherman, thanks for sharing what happened with you. Maybe we'll get to the bottom of it all one of these days."
Oh, no problem. I'm an open book.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to deal with this.
Ditto.
Who's this big lady here?
Like, I'm me. Like, you know, like Tiffany. I didn't want to like interrupt you or anything. And she looks over to Zed and winks.
Ooh. Shaw sort of backs up slowly to give them more room to like eye each other.
Where did I put the token? What the?
Hey, Tiffany, were you able to get all your rounds done and speak with all the
This one.
people that you were meaning to?
Yeah, like there was a lot of stuff that had to get done, but like, you know, we got like everything going. Like, that's all that matters. Like everybody's happy.
It's definitely Festivus around here. People seem very happy.
Oh, that works. There we
Not
go.
least of all you, Zed.
It's a token. Yay. So like, which one? Which is there anything like you want to go to first? Like over here is like if you want to have like an arm wrestling contest or something.
Oh, that
Let's
sounds
see.
fun. We should go wrestle arms.
That's a great idea.
I'm thinking Sherm over here might be quite talented. Also, Tiffany, Kozik was looking for maybe a special kind of food.
Oh,
I'm sure
like,
you could point him in the right direction.
Some
what are you
dogs,
after?
a hottum dog, or candy floss, or a corning dog. Something from some native Fey food. I'm really craving that.
She taps her chin for a moment, and mind you, she's like 2 feet tall, so she's just like hovering there and tapping her chin. Hold on.
Is there a kiosk here?
Well, like if you like want like some exotic stuff, like something sweet or something, you can like go over to Carl's booth, and she points over to like, let's see, he is gonna be like way over there, but it's she points in that direction, but it's just like it's a huge crowd, so it's not readily visible. Like the best thing you can see of that booth is like the top of the tent, and people kind of coming and going from basically everywhere. It's just such a big crowd. Like imagine being in the middle of, I wouldn't say as crowded as like New York during the day, but maybe 50% of that. There's still a lot of people that kind of obscure your vision, and you still gotta you kind of rub shoulders a bit with folks as they try and squeeze by. Actually, imagine going to like Disneyland. There's enough space for you to like squeeze by people, and there's enough foot traffic in directed directions that you can move around sort of freely, but it's a lot of people.
Like Koyana Squatsy or something.
Like if you want like really good sandwiches, you can like go talk to Carl like over there. Let's see. Like if you like want some candy, he can also do that. He like has pies. Like if you want really something really good, you can totally like go over there.
You're out here pushing popkins. I was looking at one of them. What are the squiggly bugs that you squeeze them and they shoot yogurt in your mouth? Caterpillars.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Or they got the gingerbread man that actually run and you chase them. You ever had any of those? Those are good too.
I
You
mean, like
chase it and eat it?
I've had gingerbread, not like if it runs or anything, because that probably means it's sentient, like feels pain, and like why would you want to hurt something like that?
That's not what that means at all. It's just animated. Like if we animate a chair, that don't mean the chair's got feelings.
Oh, that's a good question.
Philosophical difference between the fairies.
I ain't a fairy. I'm a pixie. Cooler.
The Fae people. Apologies.
It's no problem, Bob.
Oh, Niavara, how long were you there?
Niavara had more or less been standing there for like a handful of minutes. Just like sit in the back. She wasn't saying anything, she was just observing the crowd and also the party members to try and get the new vibes.
You can
Before
give me an
she-
insight check. As you
Huh?
just kind of, you can give me an insight check since you've sort of just been watching this. That's good enough. You definitely see this like gleam in this fairy's eyes when she looks over to Zed, because you weren't really there for that whole thing, so there's something going on. Like whenever she looks at him, there's like this slight smile.
And
But
Cha
anyway,
just jumps right in. He's like, "Wow, cool! You missed so much!" And he just starts just exposition of everything that's happened from his perspective, which probably means some details will be left out. But he's trying to make it entertaining for Niavara as well, not boring. He's like using, minor illusion and thaumaturgy to make visuals and images of everything that's happened since she took off. And so finally we met Rain and Sherman here, and they're super duper cool. They're being chased by these guys. So we're kind of trying to protect them, but those guys left town, so there's no problem, right? Yeah.
And she sort of thinks, like, do you mean Mr. Black was chasing them?
Oh, I didn't put that one together. They took off right before the candy cane guys came in the pub. I was gonna chase after them, but then all this ruckus happened, and we decided to go and help, or just chase down these two and find out what was going on.
So you saw Mr. Black as well there, Niavara?
And she sort of smiles, like, yeah, of course I did.
It's a bit puzzling that you happen to run into him again, and especially in this odd place. I mean,
did I not put in the right?
completely different realm.
Sort of thinks about it, considers it. And she's like, I don't like his vibes. Having
I don't
seen him
either.
a lot around town, in general, I
Ditto.
should say. I don't like him.
I
But
knew you were there. I knew you were at the pub.
and she sort of smiles like, listen, he didn't see me. So was
No.
I?
Oh, for sure it didn't.
No, he's an interesting figure. And what I will say is that his mooks are particularly feared as well, it seems.
Here too. Just like
Yeah.
back in Grenstall?
Oh, I was more referring to
Probably.
Grenstall on account of the
Oh.
fact that he's for whatever reason, he's chasing people here as well.
Yeah, what the hell is his deal? And how's he able to travel so fast? We've
I
had to go
mean,
through all these wild doorways.
Just getting my list of
Seems so
NPCs ready for
casual
him.
about it.
could he not have done the same thing we did?
Suppose if they knew the right gates and stuff. What do we know about them anyway? Did we learn anything about them in Grenstall? They seemed like kind of like mafioso or something.
Well, I just remember as soon as we got that table, your brother Veldrin and yourself, Neovara, was sitting, and apparently they were just giving you the the side eye the whole time. And we all came and sat down, and it didn't sit well with me, so I confronted them about it. They were a bit standoffish, I'd say, a bit smug as well, arrogant, and as soon as I said my name, he apparently was aware of my crew and started claiming that they were all gone and things like that, and it's just saying things that obviously aren't true.
Bobby.
I just don't like him.
Well, we know your crew is not gone. Seems like they might be at the place where Fletch seems to reign as a captain.
It's possible, based on that
Feel
dream that we had, Shaw, that seemingly was maybe
right.
shared. Um,
The veil between reality is thin.
but I'm not sure. So he seemed to, at least he posed that he was familiar with myself and my crew, out of nowhere. I'd never been to Grenstall, so that's odd. And he was staring at Veldrin and Neovara as if it just gave me some sort of suspicion, and I'm curious as to what all he knows, quite possibly about each of us. And that he showed back up is very, at the least, concerning.
I know
Saw
that.
us there too.
So
Knows we're here.
out of character, I know the term in Pathfinder language, but like a sort of recall knowledge, gather information check, where it's like Neovara was doing stuff around town. What was the sort of information that she could have picked up about him?
So gathering information, I would say, would be investigation.
Gather.
Fortunate.
And which so you're trying to get information on I hear someone breathing.
It's Chaw.
I was like, what's going on? Am I springing a leak? Anyway.
Sorry, my bad.
All. So more or less she's seeing, it's like what'd she pick up like while she was like gathering, like walking around town, because she obviously wasn't paying fully attention to it. So like the passive stuff she can like grok and put together now to sort of report back about it.
For the most part, with your investigation, all you've really been able to tell is basically all day yesterday people were just talking about the fair coming up, the day of celebration. It was just a lot of people enthusiastic of the day that has effectively arrived.
Hmm.
Okay. Making sure I have
And
my
so
stuff
she'll
lined
sort
up.
of shrug, because it was just brought up that he was staring at Neavara and Veldrin, and she'll be nonchalant like, we were a couple of drow in the material plane, we don't get around much. That didn't bother me.
There she is. Copy. Why? What?
Well, that might be the case, but it doesn't change my opinion about him.
Like, even though, don't get me wrong, weird vibes, don't like him. The fact that he's in two places doesn't necessarily mean anything more than he was in two places, because we were also in those two places. Now, you might think that I'm suspicious, because I am, but you're not, and you're in those two same places. So consider carefully accusations, because they will not be taken lightly, I imagine.
Which two places are y'all in? Oh, I'm Rain, by the way. This is my best friend Sherman.
Rain, I was just telling Niavara about you and your friend. This is Niavara.
Winks fully with one eye. Holds it down unnaturally. And she's like, ah. Like, she's like holding up her hands, like, measure up against her perception of you, because you're like size small, aren't you? How tall is
So-
Rain?
So feel free to describe. So Sherman and Rain,
yeah.
feel free to describe yourselves for those of us who have not had the luxury.
Yeah, if you look in the artsy stuff, we got a few little pictures. He kind of like a fairer skin, kind of pixie. Got the shaggy black hair, right? It's almost an emo look, but he himself is actually pretty smiley, right? Got some butterfly wings. He stands about the size of a Barbie, about 13 inches tall. He would be considered a tiny creature instead of a small. Um, yeah, he's got like a big staff on his back, right? And like a little backpack and not much else.
Is he wearing pants?
Well, yeah, he's wearing pants, wearing clothes.
Hope
Like
so.
little tiny pantalones?
Yeah, it's not like I'm tiny in this regular large world. I have everybody else is regular size to me, like where I come from. We have whole ass buildings that are probably 4 feet tall, you know?
So small.
Gonna put them on the GM layer for now.
And then I'm gonna look around. Do you think I should put my mustache back on? And I'm gonna. It's got like a yoga mat that I pull out of my pack, right? And I unroll it, and it's this giant mustache
I'll
that
just
I was
move on
wearing
when they get
yesterday.
close.
Looking at Cha and Zed.
Definitely should. It is the life of the party.
And I'm just gonna like on the back side of it, I'm just gonna like lick it, like just full on like over and over again until I think it's adhesive enough. And then I'm just gonna like pat my face like several times and just smush it in. So that I have like this 6-inch long mustache, but my head's only like an inch or two wide, right?
Gonna shrink her token. Better representation.
I'm like, there we go.
Shit. Is it
I
upside down?
love it.
Is that
It
that
could
the
go
right
either
way?
way. It's reversible, I think.
Oh, fair enough.
I mean, is there any wrong way to wear a mustache?
Yes.
Currently, the way you look right now, nothing's wrong.
Sure.
I'm gonna
Couldn't
keep a
be
thumbs
anything
up.
wrong with it.
Oh, and just before I forget, and I'm gonna take out my staff and I'm gonna like flutter down to the ground, right? And just give it a little tap, and then like this purple daisy is gonna grow out of it, and then I'm gonna pluck it. I'm gonna give it to Zed,
Neato.
right?
Oh, wow.
And then I'm gonna try to
Alright.
whisper, but I'm not great at whispering, right? And I'm just gonna be like, "This is for your lady friend there. If you wanted to."
Hey, watch this. Watch this. Zed's gonna tuck it behind his ear because he's got longer hair, so he's gonna, kind of
Yeah.
pull a little bit of his hair back behind his ear and tuck it behind his ear, and it'll just sit there. It's like, I want to see if she notices, and as soon as she does, I'll hand it to her.
Do. Do.
Oh, look at Zed. I haven't seen him smile this much since we met.
One of my modules is not working. What?
Neavara will snort. And
Oh, shit.
no judgment, Cha. I
What?
mean this in the kindest ways from the bottom of my cold heart. Where were we when we met?
Say again?
Situations we've been in.
Yeah, one of my modules isn't working. What the
I will say, we did encounter some amazing stuff there. She is cute, though, and she is interested in him. Although, and she considers this for a minute, for as much shit as you guys gave me about the logistics of a dragon, like, and she'll sort of gesture and, like, make a sort of implication about, like, the size of her. Like, there are dolls her size.
Hmm.
That could kind of be true about anybody, though, right?
My
I think
module's not
she's
here.
just talking from a logistical standpoint.
How do you mean logistical? What do you mean?
Like
It broke. Okay.
people pull a muscle when they have to go down to
Fit
like do
inside of, one of your tiny 4-foot houses. Like, I would be.
All right. Gosh, you
Oh,
can never
yeah,
really
you'd have
go
to sleep
visit.
outside.
Yeah. Now,
Nah.
and all the stuff that's made for you guys wouldn't fit me, now would it?
No, but most fairies know how to shrink and enlarge, so
And I'd
if you
probably
wanted.
break some stuff if I tried to push myself in there anyway.
If we had a reduce spell, ka-chow, he'd be our size.
I can make people bigger and smaller? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I want to
Well, you'd
see.
probably be more her size, because I'm about half the size of her, because she's a fairy and I'm a pixie, which are two different things, right? It's like,
Totally. We all knew that.
so if you could, yeah, imagine y'all are about what, 5 times my height. I could probably at least cut it down to half, and then you could just duck and squeeze on in.
I want to do that. Let's check out your house.
It's pretty far away from here, and it's actually just a hole in a tree, but it's great.
So,
On the inside, it looks like a real, it's real homey vibes. Good.
Oh.
Hey, can I hear this? I think we're all close enough.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of
sound-
other voices at the fair, and the laughter and the chit chat, and people still, like, though you guys are kind of standing here having this conversation, there's still like crowds of people moving all around you. Like, nothing is really standing still.
Hey, so he's not wrong about that magic. First of all, it's, I will say, a bit odd the first time, but it sounds like Shaw might want to. You said you want to be shrunk.
I mean, who doesn't want to be? That sounds awesome.
We could switch places. They could enlarge me. They could shrink you, and then we could
I'm
play
short
golf.
enough
idea.
already.
What?
Sounds fun. Let's
I'm
do it.
actually quite curious about this.
All right,
Oh
I'm
my
ready.
god! Hold on.
Cha
How
closes his
small can they
eyes.
make you? How does this all work, Chaw? Based on your size and the magic, how small can you get? Rain, you
Man, I
might know
hope
the
it's
answer.
pocket-sized.
Well,
So I have
I
an
mean,
idea.
I'm sure there's many a magic practitioners what could shrink them small or make them extra big. As
Oh,
far as I'm aware, for most fairy magic, we just do double and halves. So for me, I could
Double
get
and
about 6 inches tall, or I could grow up to 2 feet tall.
Okay,
So I
Chaw,
could be
how
about 3 feet.
That's still pretty
That'd be
big.
like a foot.
That
Yeah,
might
it'd
be
still
Like
be a foot taller.
it might be a
gnomes.
bit big. If you could possibly get smaller, because you know this amethyst dragon that I've got on my shoulder, you're quite fond of riding creatures around, and that could be something fun, not only for you obviously, but for you know the dragon trying to ingratiate them into the group here, and
How big's the dragon?
You mean try to
It's
ride it?
it's about the size of a house
but if
cat,
you're small enough,
a little bit bigger. Like
I
I'd
don't think
say,
I have to get smaller to ride that.
I'd probably say actually, at this point, a little bit closer to like a Maine Coon,
Why don't
because
you
they can
pick the
get kind of
most
big.
obscure? What's a Maine Coon?
It's a rather large breed of cat.
It,
Big kitty.
It's not obscure at all. It's a very large cat. It's
it's
pretty.
basically one of the bigger breeds of cats.
I'm
Why'd you
sending
pick
like
the most
the
obscure
top
thing?
picture. I'm sending this
Somebody
to the
share a
You're
actor.
throwing out
picture.
Latin names over here at me.
I like how you said that with your
It,
character's voice, but you meant it
Oh.
as yourself. Why did you pick the most obscure thing?
it's a big ass cat. Shit looks like a fucking lynx.
Yeah, they can grow to be pretty big, so it's not
second
that
picture
big,
is
but it's kind of getting
terrifying.
it's bigger than house cat, but like a little bit smaller than
God, is that
that breed.
real?
Yeah, they're
Yes,
actually really
Oh.
big cats.
they look like dogs.
That second
Those are
picture has
huge.
Donnie
That's
Darko vibes.
disturbing.
I
Totally.
love Donnie Darko.
Totally.
Right, so basically, yeah, that was my idea. If Cha could get small enough, I would just love to see Cha riding around on this fucking amethyst dragon.
Oh, that would be adorable.
You know,
So I
sometimes there's
think if
space
he was
treats that
3
can
feet
shrink you.
tall, he could probably fit on that white one in the picture.
Yeah, right.
Surely there's a vendor somewhere what can get us what we want, right? There's little pieces of like pies and stuff you can take a bite of and you'll whoop, diminish.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
huh?
man, I love the Feywild. Let's
Yeah, who
find that
doesn't?
pie. Let's get our fingers into some pies.
Well, I'm fixing to eat a pie, but not be diminished, but to be engorged, enlarged.
Oh,
Satiated?
Indeed, indeed.
you want to engorge the deep shaft, eh?
Where's this Where's this Carl's Jr. tent that we can attend?
Oh my god. Carl's Jr.
Well, I don't think Sherman had a chance to describe himself yet to the Neavara. If he's here, that is.
Yeah.
Is there a Sherman? Do we have a Sherman? Probably not. That's okay.
Unless he doesn't know he's been muted the whole time. Possibility.
Yeah,
Seeming less
he did just
likely.
get off work, so he's probably a little handling some other
Yeah.
stuff.
He was saying he was really tired earlier.
Did
That's
post
fair.
something about a half an hour ago.
But so Kozik, you mentioned talking to or going to Carl's booth. But like I said, Tiffany pointed to the table, like pretty much right where you're standing at. There's like a little booth to the side of it that looks like there's this square table and 2 chairs. And
These
you
plates
see,
there?
yeah, those are like plates on the table.
What's on them?
We're gonna go with some half-eaten candied apples. Let's go with let's see what else I have here on the list of things that'll be at the fair. Like maybe some crust of a pie of some kind. Looks like maybe like some blueberry or something. Yeah. Maybe some crumbs left over from a cupcake. You can see the cherry on top that maybe one of the kids don't really like cherry, so there's just a cherry sitting there. Like imagine
Chaw's
walking through
making a
like
beeline.
a Chuck E. Cheese's, right? And there's like these small parts that the kids don't eat of like all the stuff on the table. It's kind of like that, just table scraps.
This is Christmas freaking morning. for Cha. He's going up to him and just sampling everything like it's the most regal buffet with hors d'oeuvres and beluga and everything.
And like while you're doing that, you noticed that two people sat down at that little table next to this table, and they locked arms. And there's like this hold on, there's the arm wrestling, and there's like there's somebody kind of presiding over the event, and they have they tie their hands together and kind of hold it straight up. And yeah, they're just kind of going at it. It's a little friendly competition. But yeah, there's a little arm wrestling going on over here.
I'm thinking,
And then
personally, Sherm needs to compete over here. These fellas look a bit, I mean, no judgment, but they're not mechanical gorillas.
Cha sees that look in Zed's eye, and he kind of gives him like a mom look. Zed.
But friendly, obviously. Can't take everyone's coin here. That would be unfair.
knocking stuff over.
What do you get for winning?
In like the arm wrestling contests?
Yeah, I mean, if Sherman, if he's too busy daydreaming, right? I wouldn't mind arm wrestling someone.
Well, I mean, like, if you're gonna like arm wrestle, like you kind of have to wait for like later, because that's when the Arminator comes out, and that's when you challenge him. And if you win, then you might get a cool prize. But I don't want to say anything because that would totally like ruin the surprise.
Is it a robot?
She looks at Sherm. Yeah.
Oh man!
Oh, he ain't a
So
robot.
many
Don't worry about it.
robotic creatures.
Am I the prize?
I mean, do you want to be a prize? Like, that'd be
Oh, I
fine if
already
you
am,
want
honey.
to.
You see me? I'm already
Mr. Sherman,
the
you
prize.
should
It's a
enter
quick
that whenever.
comeback. For sure.
You're the strongest person I know. I know
Good.
lots of
This
people,
would be fun.
dozens.
I need to make my notepad bigger. Hold on.
Well,
Put
here,
full
Rain.
screen.
I'll give you a good arm wrestle. In the meantime, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Hold on, let me flutter on over there.
Cha's gonna.
I'll just
sit
stand
down.
on the table.
Cha sits down. Kind of does the over the top, like fanning the fingers out. It's slowly gripping around your tiny little knuckle with one finger.
He turns his hat around.
He turns
like a
his
switch.
merkin around.
Yeah.
So his merkin is coming out like like an old 1980s fishing hat.
This would be athletics.
All right, buddy, let's see what you're made of.
I'm gonna rotate my shoulders backwards, and since I don't have to sit down, I'm on the table. I'm gonna do like a little circle, right? I'm gonna jog just a little bit, and I'm just doing the shoulder thing. I'm gonna crack my neck a little bit, and I'm just like on my tiptoes. And then at one point, my legs are moving, but I'm not even touching the table. And then I start doing some stretches, and then I land right back on the table again, and I hold my hand out. And you got to remember this: it's very easy proportions. Just think of a Barbie doll extending her hand, right? That's the size of it. So it's a little hard to get a grip on, but I'm gonna use my whole arm. I'm gonna try to.
I'll say that's the table lady. That's fine.
Cha pulls out a container of 10W30 and just downs it. Just kidding. Sorry, I'm doing the over-the-top references. Forgive me.
Cigar.
I literally haven't seen it since the 80s, but I do remember that guy who drank the motor oil before he arm wrestled.
Second sucks, yeah.
What do we roll?
Opposed athletics.
Boom!
Yep, it's strength based.
All right.
Dude, Cha's athletics suck.
I
This
feel
could
like you're
happen.
gonna have it better than me. All right.
Ready, set,
Oh, damn. I have -3, but I got a 16.
Oh my god, no way! Yes, nothing.
And you know the best part to this,
Almost had him.
Athletics? It's that +1 that you did for your training montage that pushed it over.
You're right. That was the one
Wow.
I picked, was athletics, because he had a -1.
I had to crit to beat that.
But it's best 2 out of 3.
Man.
So
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
you guys are going at it, and it's a pretty strong standoff. Like you guys are holding it. Like you, Child, like you did not expect a creature of this size to be able to hold you off as best as he has. Like you can feel the at first you were just like, nah, this will be easy, and you realize that you have greatly underestimated your opponent, despite you just barely getting the upper hand by a margin. Like his hand is, you're pushing it to his side, but man, this is not an easy fight.
Wow,
Round
this was
2.
Before the next round, Zed's gonna kind of shuffle over and he's gonna pull some
no.
coin out of his pocket and he's just gonna put the coin on the table. He's just like, he's gonna look at Chaw. He's like, hey, before you say anything, just let me get it out. No one's a loser here, all right? And then we're gonna have fun.
Okay. Chow looks
Just
at
trust
everyone
me.
else. It was one of like the 5 main rules of our entire party. So he's just like, okay. All right, ready?
So you haven't gotten his arm down yet, right? This is just you getting it close. The 2 of the 3 is to get the arm down.
I'm gonna say I'm kind of cheating just a little bit. Like you can see my wings kind of like as I'm like bent towards the table, I start fluttering my wings a little bit. And from the hips down, like legs, feet, everything, it slowly starts to blink that firefly glow, right? As I'm like really focused, right?
Cha grabs the red, white, and blue hand grip that's attached to the table.
All right. Best two out of 3 for this one. Let's go. See what we got. Oh no. So Zed pretty much puts a coin on the table, and maybe that distracted you a little bit. And at this point, this little pixie's he's putting up a hell of a fight. Like you almost maybe had his arm down, and just out of nowhere he had this burst of strength. Maybe it's that junk in his trunk that's glowing. Maybe it's the wings. Maybe it's Maybelline. But either way, like he's even this back out. You have made no progress now. It's on. Yeah, I was gonna say 2 out of 3, but I kind of like this scale that we got going. It's reset to 0 because he evened it out. Let's go.
Making all this noise. I'm just delighted to be here, and my eyes are wide, and I'm just like, you sure are strong, mister.
You too.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Let's see, was that
And you broke off his arm.
The whole
Nope,
pixie
nope.
slams into the table.
It wasn't that 1, so it's not effectively 2. But you definitely gained the upper hand now, Cha. You've realized that your opponent is a lot tougher than you thought, and now you're kind of putting that extra effort, as represented by the grunts and groans.
If I win this, I'll get my son back.
All right, let's see if you can close the deal.
I can't. I have to crit.
You can use an inspiration.
Oh
no.
Oh man.
Chaw is just respecting his opponent, like in this way. He's got to win.
Oh, it's
All
full
right.
Goku. It's full Goku. Nobody throws punches in a challenge. Where he comes from.
All right, so
slow mo.
yep, You
Sweat
managed
beading
to.
off of Chaw's forehead. Wow,
You managed to.
you're amazing, Rain.
I'm just like laying sideways on the table, rubbing my shoulder. Yeah, it don't feel amazing.
Yeah. Well, that's an arm wrestle for you.
Yeah, maybe we should try like full body wrestling next time.
Hey, that sounds fun.
We should let everybody else play their games and just stare at them while they do it.
Holds out
Hold
like a
on.
pinky to
Again,
like
with
shake the
the
pinky
whole
with
shrinking thing,
with
Chaw,
Rain's.
if you were
Yeah,
shrunk
yeah.
and Rain, you were enlarged,
Yep.
you'd actually possibly have a potential wrestling match there.
Huh.
That's true. I'd be a whole 2'2". Not
And
to
what
brag.
if, I'm not going to presume, obviously, and he's going to kind of look over at Tiffany and kind of wink, could possibly be in a big container of chocolate milk?
Oh,
Oh,
or chocolate pudding.
pudding. What's that?
See, that's why we got to get him some pudding. Like it's like a little wibbly wobbly you can put in your mouth and it's real good.
Oh man, I love wibbly wobblies in my mouth.
As this is being said, for whatever reason, Zed's gonna pick up the coin that he put on the table. He's like, "All right, I won. I feel at least satiated for now." He's gonna put the coin back in his pocket.
Wait, you voted against me?
Hey, I think it means he would get the coin no matter what. It's kind of like like he gets to dip into the drug but not really feel the consequences. Is that right, Zed?
It's like a placebo, or I think I just came up with a word for that.
What's a
Huh.
placebo?
Well,
Placebo sounds infernal.
it's got to be
Ooh.
some sort of magic. But I do feel better.
Hey, that was good. Keep it up. It'd be kind of like, a patch. Like you have a torn pair of jeans, you put the patch on it. It's kind of like that. Coin
All right.
patch.
So while you guys are having this, competition, Kozik wanted to look for the junior of the Carl, right?
Maybe his son runs the tent. Yeah.
All right. So that would be. Actually, that would be over here. So a little bit behind this like table you're standing at, like not everything's exactly to scale because this was just a map I was able to find. So this kind of paints a pretty decent picture of like the size of things, but not exactly exact placement. So there's a like little tent like over here, and you can definitely pick up the aromatics of sweets and candies, and there's this funny enough, there is a dwarven individual sitting there. Hold on, let me get the image for you. And he has this like long black beard. I mean, obviously not as long as yours, right? Because you're noble. There it is. And actually, no, it's a long, like brown, kind of gray, graying beard. Like this. Trying to think, like teal colored hair, and he's just sort of sitting there with this very nonchalant look on his face as he's just kind of tapping a finger on the countertop. I want to show image, dang it.
Oh, I was wondering. I'm like, I don't see it yet. These
Uh,
cats are seriously too large. There's no way.
Oh, there it is. Haha. Found it. Artwork. Art. What? Artwork. There we go.
I hear the sound of like a dwarven folk tune being whistled. Hark, what's this? Aha.
And he just starts sitting there. Every so often, he'll turn around and disappear behind maybe a couple like loose flaps, and you can hear the sound of and like something simmering in the back, or maybe the sound of a metal clanging, like an oven closing, or a flame being lit. And then every so often, he'll come back and put his elbows on the countertop and see you approach with a quirked eyebrow. Hey, what can I do for you?
Well, even though I know that the dwarven kind are spread amongst all sorts of nations and regions, I venture out into Dwarven and I say, "Greetings, be you Carl?"
Why the hell are you talking like that? Speak normally. But yes, I am
Dwarven?
Carl.
Or do you mean my particular idiom?
You sure do have a lot of words. How about making them a
Oh,
little simple for old Carl?
aha, I see. Well, Carl, it's what a relief to see another dwarven head of hair here in the Feywild. It's amazing, isn't it?
Aye. What brings you here?
Okay. I'm looking. Do you sell food here?
Another brow quirks as there's like a pie in front of him, like a cupcake, all steaming hot, like fresh out of the oven. Of course.
It's amazing.
What is it you're after? I can make it for you. I'm really good at making sandwiches.
Oh, speaking of sandwiches, I could really have a hottumdog. Do you make that?
He leans forward.
Is it a
You know,
sandwich?
he kind of leans forward with a hand to like his mouth, like he's sort of whispering to you. It's quite the delicacy. You sure you want them? Right now, right here. There might be other people that see it and smell it, and then they're gonna try and take it from you. And then he points over to like maybe a couple of kids that have been eyeing his booth. And there's like this wicked smile on Carl. It's playful, but it's almost like this like wicked smile.
'Tis the feast of Mirren, or so I've been told. Bring
Aye.
out the hottumdogs.
Hey. And then he just kind of disappears behind the tent for a couple of minutes. And you can hear the sound of like something sizzling, something like maybe some packaging opening. The fresh sound of Oscar Mayer. A particular fella by the name of Oscar.
Transdimensional meat purveyor.
And then he comes back out, and there's this, this very elongated, encased sausage. And it is presented with twixt thine buns.
Well, I must ask you, Master Carl, how do I eat it?
Well, you take it, right? Just like this. And he picks it up, and then you put it in your mouth, like this. And then he eats it.
It's supposed to go in my mouth. Oh, well, can you make another one?
Hey, I was just giving you the instructions, just in case you didn't know how to eat food or something.
Oh, thank you.
And then he disappears behind the curtains again. More sizzling, more crinkling of packages. And then he comes back with another one. And this one has some condiments on it.
Oh, wow.
Some kind of pickled, something very pickled.
And what's the price?
That you enjoy yourself here at the fair.
Oh, you're a true scholar and a gentleman in your own right. I take it from him, and I chomp that sucker.
You partake of the hottumdogs.
It's so good. Yum, it's a little spicy, and it goes snappity snap.
So I'd say that no, we'll take him a little bit of time to cook it up. So we'll pan the camera back to the main group as wafting smells of cooking meat starts to fill the air. As Rain's probably recovering a little bit. Cha definitely, a little sweat covered, and Zed proud of himself for having not lost money. So what's Sherman and Niavar doing when they're having this conversation?
I'm just watching along. I was standing over by the table watching Cha and Rain.
Niavara more or less saw Cha take on the pixie and was like, okay, that's a done deal. And more or less is like seeing what other booths are around, like what other games might be played that aren't just within their little group.
All right. So as you start, moving forward a little bit, I can put this token down as pretty apparent when you get closer. So you notice, amongst the crowd, there's this individual that is dressed in very bright and colorful clothing. She has this like long dress with like these reds and these blues, kind of more faded blues, but a little more red, and it like these pointy ends of like the dress, kind of like over, like an overdress, I guess, sort of kind of more decoration than dress. There's like these little jingle bells that dangle off, but they jingle ever so quietly, not to be, overbearing. She definitely seems to have these hooves. Because you can't really see her legs, but you can see her feet a little bit. So she has like these hooves and like these horns on her head that curl, those gray horns that kind of curl around, almost like a little goat horn, and these kind of pointy ears. And she's just kind of calling out, "Next fair event, 20 minutes." Hold on, I'm gonna roll a dice to see which event's happening first. D8, 10. Don't know what rolled 3. Oh, it's because my mouse freaking double clicked. What's the first roll? 10. Okay. 20 minutes. The tiny races in booth 3, and she kind of points over into the distance.
Ooh, tiny races.
What's a tiny race?
Oh no, I closed my notepad now. You flutter up to her and ask that question.
Yeah.
Give me a sec. I accidentally closed my document. I gotta open that up. Tiny races run by. Hold on, I gotta go back down to where I was. Fuck. Tiny races. There it is.
I'm just so
Tiny
happy
races.
you have a chart with events on it. That's awesome.
Talk to Master Dobby. Easy to meet him.
What's the Dobby look like? Is he an elf? A free elf?
Oh god.
Dobby is the one I didn't bring up on my thing. 1 sec. Getting the sheet for it.
We can't help references tonight. They're just here to stay. Carl's Jr. Over the top.
There's Dobby.
Harry Potter. Come on, what else can we bring in?
Dobby would be little green guy with goggles, pink hair.
And
You can't miss
when you
him.
say little, how little are we? And I'm gonna like use my hand for measurement and do like half my size and like tell me when I get there. Can I keep lowering it? I go down to like knee size.
Your knee size or normal knee size?
My knee size.
Nope, she waits.
I keep going down. I'm like, was he a bug?
About that size, yes. Well, when it's racing time, talk to Master Dobby.
You must be able to be shrunken down in order to participate.
Ooh.
Is that
now we're
true, ma'am?
talking.
She nods. She has this like gleeful nod, and just by her bodily, like just observing her bodily, body motion function. The word just flew right out of my head.
Her bodily functions.
Interpretation.
Countenance,
Her anatomy
Yeah.
and physiology. Continue.
Yeah.
like her expression.
Yeah, I don't know why the word it was there and then it just went bloop, right out my brain. Body language, there it is. Just reading her body language, she's very excitable and very excited, and it's almost like she's actually being very reserved, but most of it comes out in her voice because she's just enthusiastic right now. She's full of she's living large right now. Imagine, since I know you play Baldur's Gate, like imagine Karlock. Like when when she talks to you and right after she gets freed, just she is that level of excited. But she is holding back. So because she, seems to be there's a job here, so she's being respectful. But if you definitely get the feeling. What's your passive? Let's see. What's your passive insight? I'll see if you notice.
What is it? It is 15.
15. Oh yeah, she is brimming with excitement, and you would definitely get the feeling that if she wasn't facilitating any kind of like, serving as any kind of direction or, doing a job right now, she'd probably just be grabbing your hands and dancing with you, and like she has that much energy. Like she's easily Super Saiyan 3, right? But she's holding back, so she's only just like Super Saiyan 1 right now.
Anything she's saying, she's Super Saiyan. Got it.
Oh yeah,
Ma'am, if you could, how many people can participate in this, and is there any prizes?
Yeah. Yes. And at this point, she kind of goes from this almost practiced speech to this is starting. She's definitely starting to come out of her skin, and maybe just leaking through a little bit as part of I'm playing this out as your insight reading this. The prize for this one. If you win, you get a pin.
Ooh, I always wanted a pin. I'm gonna tell all my friends that way we got a better shot of winning this pin. And is there any other things that happen betwixt now and then that could be fun or entertaining?
There's arm wrestling over there, and she points to basically where everybody's already at.
Well, we're waiting for the Arminator 7000 to get here.
Ooh, you're gonna take him on? Oh, nobody's ever beat him though. And she smiles wide, just brimming with excitement. But good luck.
Yeah, well, that's about to change date. That's the only? Okay, well, okay.
That's between now and the races anyway. We need time to set
y'all
things
got
up.
any clothes? Y'all selling any clothes here today?
Hold on.
Oh, that reminds me. Okay.
I'm an extra petite, and sometimes it's hard to shop around.
Loading.
Okay.
Loading. Yeah, Koza gave away his noble's clothes, huh?
I was like, I need some nice fineries from the Feywild here.
So she rips her dress off and hands it to you. And the funny thing about it is, like, as soon as she tears her dress off, another one is there, almost like, like the Nestle dolls. She just like pulls the dress off, and it's like she never pulled it off, but there's another one now.
How tall is this individual?
Oh, she's like, let's see, she's like 5'6".
So it's a giant piece of fabric.
I guess I'll try. I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth here, so I'm just gonna slip it on over my clothes and just hold on to the neckline with one hand each, I guess, and just look like a ghost flying around with a tiny head coming out. Okay. All
Never
right,
mind. It makes me think of
remember for shopping.
that scene in the Mario Brothers movie with the Goomba's shrunken head.
Yeah. And they did the elevator sway.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna go in my new dress and just kind of flutter over here. Hey, we just got invited. I made sure to sign all of you up. We're gonna be tiny racing if that's okay with you. I don't mean to speak for you, that none of you's, but and also look at this new dress I got. Do a
Wow, do
spin.
we all have to have oversized gowns that we wear for it?
I don't believe so. I was just looking to buy some new clothes on account of I didn't pack much with me. We was in such a hurry when we was eager to get here. And maybe there's a seamstress that can kind of tuck this in for me. I don't mind wearing dresses. That don't bother me. It just bothers me that it's about 5 times too big for me.
So everybody can hear the clip clops of feet of hooves against the cobblestone as this lady comes running over. Oh! I forgot. Sorry. And then she touches the dress and kind of pulls on the collar a little bit, like a little stretchy stretch. And then she's goes to the base of the dress and does another little stretchy stretch. And it's almost like a rubber band, right? She pulls it out, and when she releases it, it kind of snaps back, but it snaps back to your size.
As a DM, I'm gonna need you to provide imagery. What does this dress look like?
It looks
Better
like
not put
hers.
me in
So
nothing
it's
ugly.
like, so the image in my head that I had of it was of the bard from Baldur's Gate, kind of like that, like little jingly, little jingle bells attached to it. So like a long dress with a red, a sort of over pattern, as it were, almost like a jester in a sense.
You've got a dress that jingles.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Perfect.
Does that do that? Actually do that in game, please? Please say yes. That is the coolest.
Yeah, I'll wear it. And I'll leave it. Yeah, thanks. I didn't know I could do that. And I'm gonna do like a little spin and show off and be like, don't be jealous, but she just gave me her clothes and I mean, who wore it best? You're looking at him.
I
But
am
yeah, get
getting
excited. We're going
jealous.
to the tiny races.
Sweet.
I think it's like a half an hour away. If y'all want to do the things you want to do, go eat some pod, play some games, throw some darts,
Hottumdogging. To
wrestle a
which,
robot.
Kozik, what do you want to do? You got your hot dog. You ate. The party's still probably over there. Like I said, there's a big crowd. So from where you are to where they are, would probably be a bit obscured by a lot of bodies. But you know where you left them. You didn't exactly tell them where you were going either.
I was on a mission. Is there any way? I asked Carl before I leave. Is there any way that you might have some candy floss at this tent?
Hmm. Of course, I make the best.
It would be great. I'd love to. I'd love to have some of that too to take on my way. I've heard it comes in a big cone.
Hey, give me a minute. I'll get some for you.
Oh, I hope it's just like a soft serve.
Where did I put the?
Magic officer would be great.
So he disappears behind, the curtains again, and you can almost make out some kind of mechanical whirring sound, like. and then it eventually fades, and he comes back with this very large. Yeah, almost it's clearly bigger than your entire head, but it looks
That's a
like
big head.
this cotton, a big old cotton ball on a stick, and it's colored like blue.
This is a color truly not found in the material plane. This is not natural. It's wonderful. What do I owe you?
Only that you have yourself a lovely time here. It's a day of
Sir,
celebration after all.
Mr. Carl, you are truly noble in spirit, if not by birth, and I salute you. And I do give him a dwarven salute and maybe a curt bow.
He
That
also
was
gives you
such a
a
beautiful
salute,
insult
and at this
compliment.
point, you finally get a moment to realize that he's in chef's clothes this whole time, and he has that big white, like mushroom-shaped chef hat
Yeah.
that doesn't even look like it makes sense, or how it stays on his head is probably a feature of the Feywild magics. Almost Swedish chef-like.
He's a master. I would like to maybe trade something with him or give him a. I reach into my little purse that I carry with me, and I kind of feel around, and in a special little paper wrapper, I pull out a Huntersville Harbor chocolate, one of two that remain that we received. It seems like so many months ago. I say, Mr. Carl, please take this and enjoy it, and I hand one to him. It's a rare sweet.
Hey, what is it? Hey.
It's a chocolate of exceeding quality. You shan't be disappointed.
Oh, thank
For
you.
your service.
He takes it and he tucks it away, like he doesn't leave it on the counter or anything. He definitely puts it in a safe space, you know. No prying eyes or grabby hands.
I give him another bow and I take my leave, eating my cotton candy.
After having a hottumdogu.
Hottumdogu, cotton candy, and it kind of dissolves. And I try to keep it out of my dwarven beard, but it is a pleasure.
Yeah, we'll see about how much of that gets stuck in your beard later. So where you heading from there?
I try to make my way back to the party.
Well, that's a good thing that they're still there. You make your way back. They're still there. Probably about to head to something nearby because I see Sherman moving over to a booth.
Wait for me.
See, that booth would be okay. So, Sherman, are you investigating this tent over here, or just kind of walking by?
Sure. I'll see what's at it.
So in here, there is. Hold on. Yeah.
Tomatoes.
Or slight representations of them.
Candied tomatoes.
No, not that one. So this booth would
Since
be.
I don't have a stomach, I want to get into an eating contest because I know I can win it because I don't have a stomach.
Oh, clever, clever. What
So,
happens to the food once it's in there? Does it?
No clue.
so this booth seems to have like various like foods on it, like snacks, and maybe not so much the sugary variety, like actual food, like meats and spiced hams and just kind of stuff like that.
Um, I'm gonna ask them for the hottest thing they have.
So you walk up to this booth and you look around, and a figure comes from behind, this like layer of curtains. Yeah. And you see a fairy. It's this small fairy fella. He's just got pretty standard, like nonchalant kind of look. Just black hair, brown eyes. Pretty, monarch butterfly coloring on his wings. Hey, how's it going? You hungry? You need some food? That's what we're here
gonna
for.
Clang on the metal and be like, kinda.
What can I get you? What can I make for you? It's a day of
What's the
celebration. It's free.
spiciest thing that you have?
Spiciest, you say? I think I can do that. He disappears behind the curtains. And it takes a couple of minutes. You can hear the sound of like maybe a crate being opened, a barrel being opened. Spiciest. And he comes back on a tiny little plate that seems like it's tailored for exactly this one item of food. And it looks like some kind of maybe some kind of seaweed wrapped with rice and some kind of maybe fish on there. Yeah, this one, dude, this is probably the spiciest thing I got right now.
All right. I have 5 of them.
All right. Give me a minute. I gotta whip some of them up. Give me a sec. And he disappears behind the curtains again. And barrel opening, like thunk. And a couple minutes later, he comes back with a plate for each individual piece. You now have 6 spicy tuna rolls.
Oh no! Okay.
I want to be at the Miriam Fest right now.
I'm gonna
Let's do
pull
this.
out my spice bag and pull the absolute spiciest thing I can manifest out of it, and put it on each one of them.
What would you like to manifest?
The chocolate bootla. If you don't know what that is, it's a real pepper.
It's a ghost pepper.
All right.
Post it. I want to see.
Chocolate bootla.
Yeah, I can image. Copy image. Yep, there it is.
That person's really brave for touching them with their hands.
Ooh, that looks deadly.
They're very spicy.
It's like the 3rd hottest pepper in the world.
Looks like a murder weapon.
But it's got the name chocolate in it.
Oh, how deceptive.
And I'm going to bring them back to the party, and I'm going to tell them that I got them these spicy little chocolate treats. And hand them out to everybody.
Cha Wolf, sit down immediately.
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, so Cha is from hell. He gets resistance to fire damage, if that helps at all.
Resistance to fire damage, not resistance to true hellfire.
The fire damage is going to come later, unfortunately.
Okay, ability check, con. Oh, pretty good.
Okay. So you chomp this thing down, and oh my god, it is hot. It is the hottest thing you've ever tasted. it is like, you've been drinking like chocolate milk, you've been eating like scraps of pie off of tables and candy. This is the first spicy thing to touch your lips well, in a long time. And good lord, like this rivals the heat from the hells themselves. And at first you bite into it, you're just like, oh, that's no big deal. And it's like that cartoony delay where once finally hits your gut, you're just like, it burns and it burns. And since you scarf so much of it, you kind of want to spit it out, but it's too late because it's all around your mouth, and like it's in your teeth, it's attached to your teeth and like on your tongue. You just can't get rid of it.
To live with this now. Cha has like a Wile E. Coyote moment where he's like in the air, all of his limbs are stretched out perfectly, his eyes are bugging out of his head, there's a flame coming out of his mouth, and he's just shrieking.
And for all you know, maybe the fact that you do have resistance to fire is why you're still alive right now.
I would say Cha collapses to the ground after that, but does not pass out because he passed the con.
Well, was it any good?
It's very nostalgic.
And what is it called again that you're eating?
The chocolate? It doesn't taste like the chocolate milk at all.
The chocolate what?
It's a chocolate something. Chocolate. What did you say?
He
My
didn't say
brain's not
anything.
working.
No,
Oh,
I
he
just
didn't
said
say what it
they're
was.
I just said they're chocolate.
Oh, gotcha.
He was describing what they,
Oh,
a
okay,
real
gotcha.
world equivalent.
It's a. I don't know. It looks like the limb of a lemur to me personally. A lemur is a horrifying flesh monstrosity with its skin and viscera inside out of its body, basically.
So for a heat comparison, it's said to top out at 2 million Scoville heat units on the official Scoville
800
scale.
It's 800 times hotter than a jalapeno.
Oh, God.
And you just
scary.
chomped them down, just like.
Why? Yeah, Cha's just on the ground, like going through the experience of feeling the slow and steady movement of the burn through his entire internal structure.
I'll pull a handful of them out of my little spice bag and toss one back and be like, "No, see, it's fine," and then be like, "It's chocolate," and hand one to Rain.
I don't know. I'm trying to cut back on fruits and vegetables. It ain't got none of that in it, does it?
No, I don't think so.
All right, I'll pop it in my mouth. I want to squirrel it though. I want to put the whole thing in, and it just the shape of it be. You remember Ed, and Eddie when they would have the jawbreakers?
Oh
That's
yeah.
what I want.
It's not chocolate.
Is a pepper considered a vegetable?
I would think
Technically,
so.
peppers are fruits, aren't they?
Our
Are they
fruit, yeah.
fruit?
Technically,
Yeah,
because they have
they're
seeds.
fruit.
Yeah.
It's a fruit.
All right. Well, if you're eating a whole one, give me a Constitution save.
Love festivals.
I think I've got +0. But if Cha could do it, I could do it.
Oh no.
You most definitely can't do it unless you want to use an inspiration.
Oh.
Or
You know
someone
what? What
wants
are
to
we
give it to you.
saving those for anyway? I've got an inspiration. Let's burn it. All right, hold up.
I love when that happens. Oh man.
All right. So you first take a bite, or I mean, you just slam it in your mouth, right? So you put it in your mouth and you just kind of maybe swish it around for a
Suck on
second.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I don't see what's so bad about this. And it's
I
almost
like the
like
idea that like I can't even close my lips, right? Because my mouth barely gets over this thing, right? Because it's so like the show. I'm not doing bites. I'm shoving the whole thing in, and it's just. Go ahead, continue.
oh no, it was just like you. First, you're just like, there ain't nothing wrong with this. Like, what's this problem? And then it
Yeah, the
hits.
chocolate pudding.
Yeah, it hits hard. It hits quick. It is unexpected. Your mouth goes from 0 to hellfire instantly.
I want to say like I'm just kind of floating there, like watching Shaw and then looking at Sherman, right? And then like you can see sweat beading on my forehead a little bit, and my eyes are getting a little pink, right? And then I start doing this thing where I kind of just hop up and down in place for a second, and then I'm like pulling at the hem of my dress a little bit, and then I start waving my hands to kind of fan my face off, and then I get my wings involved, and then I start blinking like an SOS kind of message, right? And I'm definitely gonna go spit this in this bucket of peppers or whatever over here, and just.
Shaw's holding out his hand compassionately, suffering with you.
I'm trying to lick my palm to see if I could get the sting of this off of my tongue, and
Oh,
just
so-
dragging my.
It doesn't
So-
work.
so you
it
do that?
doesn't work.
And I'll say, as part of the fail con save, you lick your palms, and now it makes your palms even start to burn.
And because of that, I return to the table and I put my hands under my butt and I just sit on them for a minute, as if because that's what you do when they're cold. I don't know what you're supposed to do when they're hot, so I just sit on my hands and I keep like scraping my tongue against my teeth, and seeing if I can just kind of spit it out a little bit while everybody's trying to eat, like passerbys and stuff. Just
It's melting my gums.
Well, this is certainly
Try
a
to
good
find the first
experiment
water
for
source.
Sherman to observe, cause and effect. Niavara, Zed, what are you two doing?
I'm gonna take notes.
Wow. I like that.
Had
Good
taken
imagery.
one of the peppers and had, instead of just taking the stranger at his word, she was investigating it to see like what it was. Because,
Give me a nature check, actually.
you don't live this long by just putting whatever you see in your mouth.
It's food though, right? It's not just a pepper. It's food that's been seasoned.
Well, there's food that's seasoned, and then Sherman also pulled out peppers on top of that.
Okay.
So a 12. Yeah, you know, it was pretty easy check. You only really need like a 10. It's a natural thing. You smell it, you kind of see the reaction everybody else is having, and you're able to determine, yeah, that's not chocolate. That's no moon. And you gather just how hot these things actually are. Whether or not you care and would want to take some in, that's up to you.
More or less, she's pretty amused by the what's the word?
Display.
The deception, the joke here.
the
And
antics.
she
Was
considers
it a
the
deception?
ultimate. He lied. He said it was a chocolate. It's a trick. It's a prank. And she considers how to one up this. And so her decision is to remove her tongue from her mouth, like to basically flatten it entirely so that she doesn't have one before putting the pepper in and swallowing it whole.
Oh, cool.
Like she pretends to chew, but like there's no tongue there in her mouth.
All right.
Mostly because she thinks that it would be funny.
To be the only one not rolling in pain right now.
Yeah. Like, she doesn't see what the big deal is, you guys. Don't question the man behind the curtain.
Cha desperately tries to get off the ground to stop you from doing it, shaking, but instead just collapses. holding onto his tail for support.
I've got my eyes completely like soaked in tears, and they're squinted so hard they might as well be closed, right? And my mouth is hanging open, and I'm panting like a dog. Like I just trying to air my tongue out somehow, and just heavy breathing.
Speaking of oxidizing, it's probably not going to help you. This is a pepper. You might want something like cream based, not water, and wash off your hands thoroughly.
Cream! Somebody give me cream! Put it in my mouth!
Yeah.
Yeah, deep shaft. I think you have a lot of cream in there.
Deep shaft, put
Could
your cream
somebody-
all over my face and my hands, please.
Could you share, please? Don't, Mr. Deep Chef, don't just cream him. I need some too. I'm dying over here.
We both need to be creamed.
I've not got it. I've not got the cream.
Here, I'm gonna come sit on Shaw's shoulder, just mouth open and ready.
It's not a very deep shaft then.
Gosh. Well, I pull off a little bit of this this cotton candy and I kind of put it in this little one's mouth.
Does that help?
No, no, it does not.
It's what I've got. I beg your pardon.
So, Lord Deep Chef, I can't even taste whatever you just put in there. It's just heat. That's all I can. It's like a fuzzy, scratchy heat now.
Oh god, I just want to taste your cream, Kozig.
You have to go to Carl's shack over there. He might have some
Some
sort of goat cream.
so this satyr lady sees everybody rolling on the floor, and she has no idea. There's this look on her face. She has no idea what's going on, but she joins in and she starts rolling on the floor too.
Man, we
Like
need
a
you to get some
dance.
kind of something creamy, not water. It's an emergency.
Something creamy,
Not
not
water.
water.
Said something about pudding earlier. Is that creamy?
It might be. Can we get a bucket of pudding?
Sure. She hops up.
Oh, thank the
Clip clop, clip
gods.
clop, clip clop, clip clop, clip clop. Clip clop, clip clop, clip clop.
I love this town.
I don't think I'm ever gonna be able to see again. I can't. My eyes are just swollen closed now, just completely pink.
And probably a good, I don't know, 2 minutes later. So you get a delightful 2 more minutes of suffering.
Hold on, Shaw's hair for balance.
You hear the familiar clip clops of goat hooves on cobblestone.
There's a point when the pain becomes almost pleasurable, but yeah.
I don't
And
know
then
what the
she
big
just-
deal is. They're not
she
that
just-
bad.
Don't like she looks like, like those almost like a, not really a keg, but a little smaller than a keg, like, a Gatorade bucket, and she just dumps like chocolate milk and like all over you.
Aw. Oh, like Flashdance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yes. Arch your backs.
Yeah.
Let's do this thing. Put on the
Yeah,
spotlight.
Exactly.
But she does make it a point to only give you like half of it, and then she dumps the other half on herself. Just being a part of whatever's going on. She has no freaking idea.
Does that help soothe it?
Is your mouth open to receive the cream?
Yeah.
Then yeah.
Mouth's open, arms are up, rubbing it in my eyes.
Oh no. Chaw's rolling on the ground in the cream.
I mean,
Oh,
it's also
yes.
delicious.
Has anybody seen Clean Flexington? He could help us.
You ask that question, you get off in the distance somewhere. You can't see him, but you just hear like a bird, maybe a bird in the sky, and it just goes, yay!
Circle of life, pleasure and pain.
That sounds like
I guess
fun.
at this point, after all this, Zed's just gonna. He's been watching. He's just gonna eat his too.
Oh no.
The pepper and the spicy tuna roll, or just
Fuck it.
everybody else is just like everybody just ate the pepper.
Oh, I'm eating this. I'm gonna eat the spicy tuna roll, and then I look at Sherman, who's apparently just eating the peppers with no problem. I'm gonna kind of look at the pepper that he gave me and be like,
Let's say spicy.
"Right, it's got to be the
What the
same
hell?
thing."
All
Not
right,
knowing that Sherman doesn't have a stomach.
give me
Yeah,
a
he doesn't. Yeah, he can't
Constitution
taste
save.
it.
Con save, you said?
Yep. Constitution save and throw. All right. It definitely
There you
burns.
go.
Burns like the hottest thing you've ever had, and probably eating the spicy thing just before it didn't necessarily help, but maybe it did. Like maybe it's got you a little acclimated to it. You know, the heat rising as opposed, it's not really steady because it's the hottest thing they had, but you know, getting used to the heat before hitting the the death peppers. So it's still really hot. It burns like hell. Like the hottest thing you've definitely ever eaten in your entire life. And mind you, you've probably eaten a few spicy things, but you also grew up, or you remember eating like seafood and stuff like that. So you're like, ah, yeah, I know what this is. But you didn't really know the pepper part, so that kind of caught you off guard. But how Zed reacts to that is up to you. Just know that it's hot as shit,
Oh.
and it burns like the hottest thing you've ever eaten.
Yeah, he's gonna really enjoy the first part, the spicy tuna roll. That's gonna kind of remind him of being younger, but nothing that he's ever really had before as far as preparation. He's probably just had the fish and the spice part.
Yeah, and the spicy tuna roll is delightful.
And so, as a little bit of a not a palate cleanser, but a palate prepper, if you will, he goes and starts to bite down on the pepper, and he gets a bite in, and at first it's actually pretty um like fruitful, almost sweet. It's got some crunch to it, obviously, and he's okay. Well, that's a interesting flavor, and so he takes a couple other bites, almost mimicking Sherman, just kind of chomping them down, no problem. And he gets to the stem, and as soon as he gets to the stem and kind of takes that last bite, um, he gets that hit in the back of his throat. Oh, oh! And immediately, you see he starts to turn red a little bit. His brow starts to sweat. Um, he'll wipe his hair back, just kind of slick it back a little bit with some of that sweat from his brow, and he'll sit back and just let the heat completely take him over. He just goes quiet. He doesn't. He has like some of the kind of deep breaths to, some of that, but he's letting the waves hit him.
And Tiffany
Hey,
just pulls out like a
Almost in
handkerchief,
like a
starts
trance.
wiping your brow.
Do you remember when Goose ate the hot sauces on stream?
Yeah, pretty much like that.
Ooh, ooh. Can I have one? Can I?
I'll hand her the rest of them.
Cha stumbles toward her desperately in the dirt, just holding his hand out like a man in a desert looking for water. No, don't do it.
She stuffs one in her mouth. Double clicking. And then you hear the clip clops running. You see her just dart off into the crowd.
No
Over to the
words, just
GM lair.
running.
GM lair.
Oh my god, we should introduce it to the minions of hell. They could add it to their torture repertoire. Ugh.
And at this point, Tiffany points in in the direction. Like, I think the races are about to start in a minute. Like, if you guys are ready. I mean, like, but you don't have to be in a hurry or anything, but And she just kind of flutters about.
Does anybody know prestidigitations?
I do.
You
What do you
do?
need? What do you need done?
Could you clean this my new dress and hair and skin and everything with the chocolate milk? Could you clean it?
I take a look at the little fairy there, and I say alakazam, pow, and I cast prestidigitation to give him a little cleanup. Go ahead. There we go.
Did you come up with that with that magical word yourself, Kozik? Pretty catchy.
Ancient dwarven traditional word.
Ah.
It's truly a word of power. But yeah, I kind of wave my hand and my maybe my thumb and my index finger. Whoop 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 whoop. Pow. Give it a magical effect.
I want to
Let's
do
see.
like I want to like flutter into the air as it's happening, right? And I want to do like a Sailor Moon-esque kind of magical girl transformation with like the silhouette and the lights, right? And then I do a spin, and then I'm like perfectly clean. Then I'm gonna give out like the peace sign, but it's sideways and a wink.
It's me every time. It's truly magical.
Right? I wish I gotta learn some of that. You wouldn't mind if I just pick your brain sometime. Not today. I want to join the festivities, but just learning magics and stuff.
I'd be happy to consult with you about it. It'd be my pleasure.
I would love it. I love reading, and like if you ever have any like scrolls or anything I could like look at.
We may have some scrolls for you to see.
Do you really?
We'll have to look at that after the maybe after the tiny races.
Yeah, no big rush. I just enjoy reading.
Tiny rings.
It's a blessing.
I like tiny
Yeah, I
races.
would definitely be down. But like I said, it's we don't need to get no big time rush. Oh oh ooh ooh.
I want to be down. I want to be down too.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
getting up. I'm getting up.
Oh, hero.
Shaw pulls himself by the table back to his feet. Oh. Ah. Hey, that was pretty interesting. New experience. Thanks, Sherman. So Cha would like to walk. Would kind of like to walk next to Niavara as they're sort of walking toward the main area for the race, and take her away from the rest of the group a little bit, and start speaking to her in Infernal. And he's basically going to say in Infernal, "Hey, Niavara, thanks for having my back there in Dale. I confronted Fletch. I did not expect you to stay in the room, but I'm very grateful that you did. You've shared a lot of cool things with me lately. A lot of well, a lot of personal secrets. So, and then he says in in Infernal, Brukta das Narun Jahannam. And that basically translates as, my true name is Narun Jahannam. But he kind of zips his lips and just says, I let that name go. But if for any reason you ever need to use it for anything, It is yours now, too.
And she sort of, her expression softens after a second. And in Infernal back, she responds, "There is no debt, as there are no chains."
Absolutely. This was freely given.
And then she nods. "Well met, then." As she considers this. And she's sort of just scratches her chin, like, I understand better than like I said, most people in our party what it is that you're doing. And I'm sure that you feel the same to some extent.
He nods.
Um and she sort of looks around at the fair and she's like, "It's quaint. It's fun." And she sort of nudges him like, "I'm sure you'd like to participate though."
Absolutely. Let's do it. And he runs around and does some more cartwheels.
Barely acknowledging the fact that you probably almost died a couple minutes ago.
Oh, absolutely. Like he's sweating. His mouth is like scarred and burned. It seemed an appropriate moment to share his true name at a merry festival where he was in infernal pain with someone who shared their true nature with him.
No better time.
Back this NPC.
No better
Dobby.
time at all.
Dobby. All right. So you're heading in the direction of the tiny races now?
Yeah,
How do you
let's check
spin
it
your
out.
token?
Oh, you pinch your your screen or your mouse or your touchpad, or you like pinch as if you were zooming like on an iPad or something.
I just
And
hold
then-
shift and click and then rotate with my middle mouse button.
I'm
I guess
pinching a little
everybody-
bit, and it does work.
Oh, there you go. Pinch
Wait.
it.
I don't know what I did. This
There, you did it. I think you're upside down now, aren't you?
I'm
Or you're to
sideways
the
somehow.
side.
I don't.
There you go.
Are we?
That's it.
Ooh, I don't think I did this. I think. I can't get myself right side up. How did you?
It's pinch again.
Oh, there
Pinch
we go.
and zoom.
How
There
do you mean
go.
pinch? I'm using a mouse.
I guess maybe just click and drag and see if that doesn't move your whole screen. No.
So for
I've got a
me,
Hmm.
I select a token, and then I'll hold down
Okay.
shift,
Yep.
Shift.
and yeah, I'd use
Oh,
my mouse wheel.
There you go. Mouse
Upside
wheel.
down.
You can use the arrows as well.
Finally,
Okay.
Chaz taught everyone how to do cartwheels. Whee! It was a perfect moment
I
for
wanted to
it.
say, you guys have a moment. I want to have a moment too. I wanted to, like, music's in the air. There's this festival. We're going to the races. I want to look at Sherman, and I want it to be like they just press B12 on the jukebox, right? I want to get that imaginary fishing rod, and I'm gonna like cast it out at Sherman.
I very poorly dance back to you.
And I pretend like I'm reeling him in, and I'm floating backwards.
I'm having a seizure while flailing at you.
Apparently.
Hold on, let me.
It's electricity coursing out
But
of his
I look good.
skull casing.
There
Electricity
might be.
arcing across his limbs.
Yeah.
Oh,
There are
shit,
people like
Tiffany,
in. Good.
Tiffany, I think there might be something wrong with Sherman. Hold on.
I'm having the opposite effect, right? Because like I'm so good at this imaginary pantomime fishing dance, right? That people like look like I've authentically caught something,
left
right?
click on
Maybe
the
it's like,
canvas.
where's this fishing pole? I don't even see it, but he's Like I'm putting this is the best performance of my life. I'm like grunting and I'm
All
like
left click.
swinging back and forth in the air and I'm fluttering my wings, but I'm staying stationary, right? Like I'm dragging this whole giant gorilla.
I'm gonna do the
Shaw claps
wave,
doing that.
and I'm gonna pass it to Zed. Poorly, but I'm doing it.
Now, let me add some FX here.
All right, hold on. That's gonna come over concerned, and you're gonna do the fucking thing and like tap him.
Yeah.
He's kind of gonna inadvertently respond as one would
Provincial.
when getting past the
Southern.
wave.
Bubbles. Ooh, I
Let's
like
see.
bubbles.
I'm
Bubbles.
gonna we're gonna leave it up to the dice here.
Pretty well.
So he
Have
will
some.
naturally, I'm assuming, just kind of like take this from you, take it all the way down to the core, down to the floor, bring it back up from the floor to the
Oh
core,
no.
and pass it back. But still, just his expression never changes. His concern, it's almost second nature.
Oh, I figured it out that time.
Sherman, are you
So,
broken? And then
uh,
as soon as that's like what he says as he passes it back.
I figured it out, and then I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna
Ooh,
stop in the middle
bubbles.
and then take notes on how to do this dance. Now that I figured it out.
Alright, so as they get closer, I'll pull out
Gotta
Dobby.
learn that one too. We could form our own troop.
There we go, so they can see him.
Zed will start another one. He's like, oh, he's chill. It's just like this. He'll start from his left arm, and he'll just kind of roll it through his arms to his right arm, and he's just gonna tap Chaw.
You know, I'm just gonna
Chaw's
put the
gonna
NPC
try
on the
it.
board now.
He's smiling. He's gonna try it. Let's see. What would that be?
Oh,
Maybe
geez, that broke.
acrobatics. Okay. So
Oh, because she doesn't have a token. Okay. Copy.
it's working on it.
Apply.
And he adds his tail to part of like the wave like movement. Tries to send it back to you.
There we go.
I think Zed will just be more impressed than anything. Like, you catch on quick, Chaw. Honestly.
Gotta get Wiggles in here.
Did have years of infernal ballroom training.
Kozik is watching this and he kind of shoves his hands in his
I'm just gonna
pockets
put
and kind
Carl
of
on
moves
there.
away. There we go. That's safe.
Oh, Kozik
Yeah.
didn't want to join in.
So unbeknownst to Kozik, since
Carl's also
Zed has Mage
here.
Hand Ledger Domain, and it's invisible. The last time, like when he sent it to Cha,
Got Sarah.
he sent his Mage
Fish.
Hand over to Kozik as well. And because Kozik moved away, it took a second to maybe get to him, but all of a sudden, you're just gonna kind of feel a tap on your shoulder.
Okay, well, let's see. And
I don't know what it's gonna convey. You might just feel like you got
Dobby.
tapped, but it could maybe it gives you
turn
the.
around a little bit.
Ilga. Corina. That's when.
I go grumble, grumble. And I almost do like a wave, like my, the arms go kind of wavy. And I'm like, no, I can't do it.
I picture your mustache kind of like does a little curl.
And I rub my face really quick. I'm like, what was that? What was that? Okay.
Josh shoves some random food in his mouth as they pass up that way to try to get out the horrifying pepper taste.
So you want to head to the booth, the little goblin over here to the right of you.
Is that where the race is?
Yep.
Oh, is it over here?
The
If I
tiny
want to be
races.
transmogrified, but I do want to watch the tiny race.
Yeah, I want to see how some of you are doing these other pinks. I couldn't find it in my controls. I'll figure it out.
Hold Alt and then left click, and that does a little red triangle.
Oh.
Well, there was another
Alt.
one earlier that had like a little arrow. That's the one I was trying to figure out.
It's fun.
Ah, there it is. Okay. Anywho, learning things about the UI. So you come up to this tent, and you know it's a pretty decent sized tent. There's this very short individual standing there, very goblinoid in appearance. Right, let me double check. Yeah. Very goblinoid in appearance. Very short, maybe like, 4 feet tall-ish. Yeah. And he has these like these, dang it, notepad, go away. Sorry, notes overlapping. Must condense. Less screen space. Okay. So yeah, you see this like goblin with this smile on his face. He has like these almost like violet eyes, but they're more in the tinge of like reddish, like maybe pink or something. He has yeah, he definitely has how the best way to explain it's like these goggles on his head, and he definitely has this vibrant pink spiky hair, and there's like this little green dog that sits next to him. And and let me give you the little image of him so you can actually see what I'm describing. This is Dobby. And he's wearing these cute little boots.
I love him.
And he just has this big old smile on his face as he sees you guys approach. Come on, come on. Tiny races starting soon. Oh yeah, he's definitely not afraid to show off some abs. He's got like his green cloak on.
Hey, he's got to flaunt
I
it.
thought that
Yeah,
was armor.
got it.
Dude, his 6-pack are his actual pecs too. Amazing.
Come on, come on. Tiny races starting soon. Sign up and win a prize. Winner take all.
Let's do this.
Step right up, and he's waving his hands like, come on, come on over. So Child's the first one, or is it just everybody kind of crowding around?
This is happening. We all want to join.
I refuse. I'm short enough already compared to some.
Don't worry, mister. We can make you real small. That's the whole point of the tiny races.
How tiny do you get?
Smaller than you. About half your size.
Ooh.
And as he's talking, like there's
awesome. Come on, Kozik.
and as he's talking, there's like this curtain behind him, and he's moving some stuff around, but he's slowly moving the curtain out, and inside you see this really, really, really small, like imagine like when you're a kid you have like those little like Hot Wheels track race things. Basically one of those. I mean a little bit bigger, but yeah, there's like little obstacles, like little bars you gotta jump over, like some barriers. There's like these sand pits kind of thing, like you gotta crawl under them. Like it's a whole obstacle course. It's like little it's not really tires. Imagine like a hollowed out like wagon wheel on its side that you probably have to like jump over and jump through. There's like some netting you have to climb. Like there's all sorts of like jumps and obstacles and dives that you got to do. Just from observing this, just looking at it,
If Niavara consents to do it, then I'll join in too.
Well, let's see what Niavara wants to do.
She had to step away.
She might be gone already.
So I'm not doing it. Okay.
Oh no, you did that on purpose.
No. I can't see her wanting to join in to become tiny.
That's a good question.
No, Zed's definitely gonna do it. He's gonna look
I'll do
over at
it.
Tiffany. Wait, do I have your blessing?
Sorry, I
Saying
was
that too?
responding. Who you saying it?
To Tiffany.
Oh, like if you want to do the tiny races, like you should go for it. It's a lot of fun. Like you're not allowed to fly or anything, but that's fine because that's still a game. Like totally.
I can't fly anyway.
I mean, it's not like it's anything you haven't experienced already. Wink.
Ooh.
You calling you
Subtle.
tiny, Zed?
Subtle.
Oh,
Oh, Niavara
I'm-
just dipped out.
Yeah,
Okay.
she had to go.
Well,
Hey,
I'll assume
she
he's
got
gonna
the.
stay big.
I'm glad she got
and
to
then I'll
show up
do it.
either way.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Is anybody else's lips still numb
Do
after
it.
that candy?
Oh, for sure. There's
I'm just like
already
pulling
these
on my lower lip,
horrifying.
trying to feel something.
There's already these horrible, like dry desert riverbed cracks in Chaw's lips
I'm gonna
that are
start
like bloody.
rubbing my metal jaw and be like, "Yep, bear dry."
Eh.
Come on, Mr. Peabody, Sherman, you want to get little with me?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Getting a little with me. Na 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 na.
Getting a little with me.
Get a little with
Getting
it.
a little
Yeah.
with me. Getting a little with it.
Out of curiosity, for a thing that I'm thinking about doing, how much does rain weigh?
Oh, I have it on my sheet somewhere. Hold up.
Oh,
I think I had it on my. Remember, I don't.
50 pounds.
2 stone.
Um,
Oh,
1
probably
stone.
6 or 7 ounces.
I had it down, but it's gone now. Never mind. I don't know. Not much.
as much as a AA battery.
He's 13 inches tall, but he a little thick, right? Like on his scale, he's a little athletic, you know.
What's that, like 6 pounds? We got 3 kilos on that.
How much does a Barbie weigh? And then I'll multiply it by 3.
It's like a Nova Cardi.
Barbie. I'm guessing you'll be like 1.5 pounds.
Oh.
If
So
you're a
smell.
Barbie doll size. Oh, I love rain.
There we
I
go.
love Sherman too. This is a great group.
All right,
So-
I'm doing a BMI calculator. What's the average BMI, right? What do you want your BMI to
For a
be?
pixie,
Severely underweight.
What should your BMI be? Dear Google, 18 to 24. All right, so if I put 7 pounds, then my BMI would be 29. All right, what about 6? How about, all right, 5 pounds.
Okay.
Plus any
I
equipment.
calculated this because I needed to.
Equipment.
Yeah, well, my
Yeah.
inventory is actually shrunk down. I'm carrying 26 pounds of equipment total. So that would mean I'd be about 31-ish pounds, I guess.
Wow.
all the equipment.
You're like an ant.
Yeah. Well, I can carry 3 times my.
You probably got a little 8-pack too.
Is
Yeah.
that right? I thought I could. What can I carry?
His BMI
I
is too
can-
high for that.
Yeah.
He's robust, but he's not cut.
Be right back.
All right. Well, while you're calculating that, so what do you guys? So you guys are all in then? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 contestants, and Dobby is pointing to each of you and counting on his like little green fingers. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So All right. We got 5 contestants. If you step right this way, it'll get you all set up and shrunk down to size and ready to run. I gotta get another token here.
Oh, and Mr. Dobby, excuse me, but what kind of small creature might we ride during this race?
Riding. You're running.
What?
That's all part of the race, kid. As you are probably roughly his size, if not taller.
He's of goblin kind.
Yep.
Back. Wow, that is a great gif.
In Goblin, I'm gonna ask him what the rules are.
Let's go.
The
Zed
rules
knows
of the
Goblin.
game: follow the track and get to the end first. Don't murder
My
anybody.
head. Can we fly?
Nope, you gotta stay on the ground.
Can I use my wings and stay on the ground?
Yep. As long as it's still on the ground.
Well, that defeats my idea. I was gonna cast Catapult on Rain.
I do have a question. Are they shrinking
wouldn't-
me too, or do I get to stay?
Oh, you get shrunk down a little bit too.
Because if you think about it, they're used to being their size and moving either 30 or 40, feet per turn, right? I'm used to being a foot tall and doing 30 feet per turn, right? So I'm just saying, on my skill, I might have a little advantage. Just saying.
Can you do that with your
That's
legs?
also
Or can you do
flying,
that with
though,
your
I'd say.
yeah.
Technically, I do have a 30-foot like movement, but I would argue that it was mostly because of wings.
Ugh.
That would make sense.
All right. Step on in. Let's get you shrunk down and get you ready. Got to make sure we got plenty of time for other contestants to get in here.
Where do we stand?
And he steps to the side a little bit and motions behind him. Basically stepping into the tent.
As we walk up to the tent, I would like. Have you guys seen My Hero Academia?
Mhm.
I'm gonna have some Ingenium legs. I can't find a picture of it.
Ingenium.
Yeah, his little turbo boosters, and as you start to see those appear, it's because I did this. Preparing myself. Probably just, since it's a combat ability to give me the dash action. Probably not going to do much, but for flair.
Flare. All right. So you guys step in. Well, whoever's stepping in, I need you at least be on that boundary so I know who's shrinking down.
Yeah, there you go. Where are we going?
Inside the tent.
This is going to be the least amount of fun we've ever had. Get it?
What about Tiff? Is she doing it?
No, she's like sitting on the counter, just kind of watching. Yeah, there's a little bit of a crowd that's forming too. You.
Nice. Wow.
Feel free to talk amongst yourselves as you guys are entering the tent, and everything just starts to feel. It's almost like as you walk in, you feel like you're not getting anywhere. Like the roof of the tent almost seems like it's almost moving away from you as you're walking under it. But even though you're standing still, right? You walked in and you're standing still, and it's like getting further and further away. Dobby starts seeming, you eventually turn and see Dobby, and he's getting larger and larger. Or maybe, are you shrinking?
This is the most incredible thing that's ever happened to me in this business. Hey guys,
You're talking funny.
you are too.
As you guys
Yeah.
get closer to my level,
way.
my voice would change the opposite from your perspective. Like, all right, boys, how we want to do this?
So masculine.
Like, this is very weird.
I'm so glad my pants also shrunk. That would have been embarrassing.
Shrink you down. And shrink you down. 4.
Right, just
Oh
a
my God! Look at those butterflies. They could eat us.
potential hypothetical situation. Would my mage hand remain the same size?
Wow.
Oh, the
Let's
questions
see.
that D&D raises.
Yeah, it would scale with you.
Yeah, it would be tiny.
He's planning on surfing it.
Yeah. Like Iceman.
Well, it said we couldn't leave the ground, but I was gonna literally ride it like a spider.
You can have it drag you as it floats because it's
Yeah.
invisible.
It can hold what, 10 or 15 pounds or something like that. So I
Mhm.
feel like I'm within that threshold. And all right, fine, cubed.
Nice try, though.
Everybody trying to come up with creative cheats.
I have a reactionary spell ready to go as soon as it starts.
You're gonna burn like highest level spells to win this race.
Yep.
So there's
What
a
else are they for?
kobold.
Pussy knows what I'm capable of doing in races.
Gonna shrink him down.
Attacked my own
4.
party members last race I was in. I
It was
cast
cinematic. It was cool.
we were racing with giant turtles, and I used speak with animals to get advantage on it. Had a really high animal handling because I was a druid. I got to the first place, and I cast spike growth across the racetrack on everybody behind me. So
do that.
Including his own party members who were
We're
also
gonna
in the
shrink this
race.
down.
Yep. Entangling everybody.
They show up. All right, got all the models shrunk down. So, as you guys have, you get the feeling that you've all shrunk down
Well, I feel like I'm smaller than them.
just a little bit, but that's just because I didn't want to go crazy on the rescaling. I just moved the model to a 0.4 size because your token was already smaller, so it's just scaling it. You're about their size. You don't shrink as much as they do, so for the first time you're seeing everybody eye to eye.
One big over another. That's from Goofy Movie, right?
I think so.
Maybe.
Wow, neato, Rain. Look at you.
So Cha, give me a quick perception check, specifically Cha, because this is something you would recognize if you hear it.
Okie dokie.
Don't worry, it's real easy.
Is it history?
Perception.
Perception, sorry. All right, here we go.
Oh, you totally notice it.
Oh.
So sitting on the shelf, off in the corner of the tent, unbeknownst to anybody else, but probably you, there is a very familiar looking cat, very chunky, and it is staring intently at this bite-sized party, wagging its tail mischievously.
You
You guys, look! And he points it out to everybody.
This is the kitty that's like a free agent, right? Or I mean, it's not.
The one that kept
Connect.
killing the birds.
This is
Yeah.
Chunky. This is Meryl.
Right. Mysterious.
Oh my goodness, is this the end?
If we all band together, we can defeat him.
That's it. This is the epic battle for world society and peace and harmony right here. Well, maybe not.
But as you look over, you look back and you see two other participants have joined. A red-scaled kobold dressed in pretty standard-looking commoner's clothing, probably maybe some traveler's clothing, and this man with like this black hair and this black beard and sort of like bright colored clothing. Looks like he's spilled a bunch of food all over himself, like probably very akin to Cha, honestly. And they've also entered, and everybody's just sort of getting into position there, and you could clearly see there's like these starting lanes, and there just happens to be enough for everybody, almost as if to say when you step in, you are provided a lane for yourself.
The kobold beside me, I'm gonna reach over and fist bump him in a draconic. Wish him luck.
Good luck to yourself, misters. I look forward to winning the prizes.
And he fist bump back.
Chow gives a forced smile, but looks back at the cat, hesitantly glancing back toward it.
It's eyeing everybody. It's not doing anything, but it is watching. Maybe even waiting for a perfect moment.
Hindquarters are raised a little higher as it looks like settling into a pouncing position.
Like
At least we know it would die from the spice of us. That's all over each one of us.
You can almost, when cats are looking out the window at birds and they do that chittering, you can almost see it doing that.
All right, so rules of the game: stay on the ground. I mean, I already went over the rules. Whatever.
And then, as soon as he says that, hold on, I gotta do something to his token.
Chalk gets into racing position.
And then as the goblin says all this, he's walking in as well and shrinking down, and the lane just starts to form for him too.
Sometimes he just, it's too much fun. I love this.
And he's putting his little aviator goggles like over his eyes.
It's fair.
I just like going fast.
And as he says the word fast, you blink for a moment and you can almost see like an action background behind him as he stands and poses.
I mean, I'm not doing this to win anything. I just like going fast.
Oh, no problem.
All right, you know the rules. Ready, set.
And then we wrap up session because it's 10:30.
Good one.
So right before we do that, right as we're getting ready to say go, just so I have a note for it to remember it, I'm gonna, as the kobold, since he was aggressive to me, I'm gonna grease his feet right as we start. All right, that's all I want to do.
Oh, we could just do that right now because that's just a click of a button. And he wasn't really aggressive. He was just like, "Good luck, but I'm gonna win."
Just being nice to you, guy. Now I'm
gonna-
buttering your toes.
I want to look at him. I'm with Sherman's side, and it's like,
No way, buddy. That we're going to be the winners here.
He's just on my scale, you know.
That was the horrifyingly intimidating.
Oh, that was Tiffany. Well, they're using the same. Either way. So you grease under his feet, and he looks down and shrugs.
I've had my feet stuck in worse than this. Good try, though.
Are we allowed to magic ourselves to get an advantage?
Maybe, but that'll be something we figure out next week.
I did it anyways. Oh, I'll accept my punishment.
Zed's gonna magic himself by taking a swig of his flask.
And the size of the grease is going to be
Magic.
smaller scale, so that's why the box is so big.
Oh yeah, it
Ooh,
would
magic.
be just under his feet. That's just normal grease's size.
Actually, I might be able to rescale the grid itself. That's something for.
Awesome session. Have a good week, guys. Ciao.
Bye.
Playing.
Dude. Okay.
I'm gonna admit something.
Omit something or admit something
Admit something.
that you're a party animal.
No, that I totally was so tired when the game started that I was unconscious for
Yeah, we
45
talked to you.
minutes.
You were saying not a word for a while. They were like, Sherman, introduce yourself. What do you look like? And then just nothing.
I
Like
kept
40.
I kept saying your name. I wasn't like directing things to you, but I would just bring your name up, hoping that it would maybe like
Yeah, for like
wake you
45.
up.
I looked up and I saw my stream timer and I was like, oh, an hour and 15 minutes. Last time it said 20 minutes.
I did.
So yeah, the fair is officially on. You got a hottumdogu. Speaking of, you know what? Hold on, I gotta find that song now because that's all that's in my head now that I could think.
Hottumdogu.
Hottumdogu song.
Yep. It's so catchy.
They do hot dogs, right? They do some crazy stuff to hot dogs. Seems
Like
good.
eat them.
Well,
and-
they got big ones, and they cook them in weird ways. It's normal to them.
Let's see here. All right, there we go.
Eventually, Cubed, I want I need to get like an axe handle or something for my dwarven pickaxe. So I hope the town has something like that they can craft that.
Yeah, I have
I
merchants
can
and
make
stuff.
one.
I need some fine clothes too.
I mean,
So-
there's a woman who loves taking her clothes off.
I have in my inventory currently a set of fine clothes.
Nice.
I thought I
And
was muted. I'm sorry. I've just been humming in your ear.
And Sherman's not wearing clothing. He's a metal robot. Gorilla guy.
If Sherman shows them to Kozik and they look pretty ornate, he might like to have those.
But yeah, I can make an axe handle.
Gesture.
Man, I can't wait for you guys to do all these events. Not gonna spoil anything, but I can't wait.
Spoilers.
Is there going to be a band or anything playing? Is there any music performance?
Oh yeah, there was the whole marching band thing.
Like the opening ceremony kind of thing. That's right. That's right. We joined in the second line there, and we went with the Saints go marching in. I forgot.
Alrighty.
Well, all right then. I will. I'll say goodnight and see you guys next week.
Hey, yeah,
See
take
you
it, man.
later.
I was just ending stream.
Laters.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Yep, I'm wrapping up my stream now so I can.
You guys have endings? I just hit stop stream.
Well, I mean, I
That was
also put
it.
mine on the Ubes tube, so
I didn't
know,
say anything. I just boop.
all right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We got the fair started and kicked off. And go to sleep. Jeez. All right, later. Maybe he will. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching and hanging out and enjoying the show. And yeah. Thanks for watching. We do this every Tuesday from about 7:15 to 7:30 to about now, which is like 10:30, sometimes 10:40. And for use on the Ubes tubes, I stream pretty much every day except for Sundays and Fridays. Pretty variety. And yeah, Tuesday's D&D, maybe another game coming up soon, work in progress. That could be fun. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. And yeah, hope you have a good morning, evening, or whatever's in between for you. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. All right? And yeah, wait, tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Wednesday. Yeah. And I'll be back at it tomorrow. So, catch you next time. All right? Have a good one. All right. Later.